$12,794. Antiwar.com reports in a move that is simultaneously seen as undermining the Saudi war in Yemen and also a virtually necessary consequence of that war. A group of political, military, and tribal figures led by former Aden Governor Abdurrahman Zubadi have announced that they are launching a formal movement for the secession of South Yemen, making the announcement with the flag of the former country. South Yemen was conquered by North Yemen in 1994, unifying the country under northern ruler Ali Abdullah Salah. Salah ruled unified Yemen until 2012 when Abdurabu Mansour Hadi was appointed to replace him. Hadi resigned in 2015, leading to the Saudi invasion to try to reinstall him by force. Northern Yemen is controlled by the Shiite Houthi movement now, while the Saudi-backed forces of Hadi rule the south, with the country once again split largely along the historic border. There was always some southern nationalism within Yemen, and the war's de facto split has brought it back to the fore. Hadi allies are complaining the secessionist movement might undermine the Saudi bid to conquer the whole country for them, while many Southerners say they expect the smaller Gulf Arab states, who are also deeply involved in the Saudi war, to back the right of self-determination for the South. Despite formally being a unified country for over 20 years, Southern Yemenis long complained of the discrimination by northern rulers, and the various crackdowns by Salah et al. Against secessionist movements in the past gave them very much the feel of an occupied territory. Ironically, despite a split being the opposite of the Saudi goal in the war, the same war made it a de facto reality, and accepting it as a de jure reality too would be a very simple way to resolve the ongoing war, assuming the Saudis would accept not only a sovereign southern Yemen, but a North Yemen that has a substantial and influential Shiite population. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports 3 Boeing mechanics servicing an Air Force One plane caused $4 million in damage and increased the risk of a fire in mid-flight if not corrected, according to a federal investigation. One of the two 747-200B aircraft, which is designated as Air Force One when the president flies, was being serviced at a Boeing plant in San Antonio on April 1st through 10th, 2016, according to an incident report released by the Air Force investigators this week. According to the report, the oxygen system became contaminated when mechanics caused the mishap by supplying and using non-oxygen clean tools, parts, components, a regulator, and an unauthorized cleaning procedure while performing oxygen system leak checks. Boeing issued a statement saying the oxygen system was remedied by Boeing at no cost to the government. The plane has returned to the Air Force, where it's being prepared for presidential service. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports California Governor Jerry Brown on Thursday proposed a funding increase for the state attorney general to create more than 30 new positions dedicated to combating President Donald Trump's policies. Democratic attorneys general in states across the country have assumed lead roles in opposing some of the Republican president's agenda. State attorneys general in Washington and Hawaii successfully sued to block Trump's executive order restricting travel from some Muslim-majority countries, and California Attorney General Xavier Becerra has pledged to defend the state's environmental standards and healthcare access. Brown has been particularly outspoken against Trump's policies. In budget revisions released on Thursday, Brown's office proposed a $6.5 million increase for California's Department of Justice, enough to fund 31 positions to address various actions taken at the federal level that impact public safety, healthcare, the environment, consumer affairs, and general constitutional issues. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Americans everywhere are enjoying their Sundays after successfully completing Mother's Day in less than 20 minutes this morning. Dads were able to wrap up breakfast in bed by 9:18 a.m., giving them plenty of time to mill about the garage for the rest of the afternoon. While children who spent a minute and a half this morning hugging their mothers are currently out playing street hockey. And after completely fulfilling their Mother's Day obligations with a store-bought card, teens are now free to leave and spend the day with their friends. The moms, who were quickly and efficiently lavished with cards, flowers, assurances of love, and 7 full minutes of family togetherness, praised the competency with which the holiday was carried out.
Oh, it was great. Charles and the kids made me feel completely appreciated, but they ended the holiday before I even got out of bed. Guess I'll go water the plants now.
But before the day-long celebration concluded early this morning, moms had their own job to do, making a brief, obligatory phone call to their own mothers.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype, so you can Skype into the show if you'd like. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Chris is back from, I presume, was a Linux conference. What was it?
Yeah, it was
Bellingham.
Bellingham, Washington. It was Northfest Linux Fest.
Northfest Linux Fest.
I'm sorry, Northwest.
Oh, Northwest. Okay. I was going to say double your fest.
Yeah,
double your fun. So welcome back from ThinkPenguin.com. As we continue, we'll take your calls about anything. But we're going to start out tonight. Darryl, you've got a story about a man who has been exonerated after how many years in prison?
25 years in prison.
Wow. Some people haven't even lived that long. Can you imagine spending 2.5 decades behind bars?
That would be almost my entire life.
Yeah, as an innocent man.
Yes.
What
Story
happened?
comes from the Innocence Project. William Barnhouse is the 350th person exonerated through DNA evidence. And the story actually...
Nationwide or just Indiana?
Nationwide.
Okay.
Story's actually from 2 days ago, but I just saw it today. Story begins, a judge today granted a motion by the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office to dismiss the 1992 rape charge against William Barnhouse based on new DNA evidence proving Barnhouse's innocence of the crime. With Delaware County Prosecuting Attorney Jeffrey Arnold's consent, the Innocence Project and the Wrongful Conviction Clinic at Indiana University McKinney persuaded a Delaware County court to reverse Barnhouse's conviction on March 8, 2017, based on the evidence. Further proceedings in the case were scheduled for May, and Arnold's decision to dismiss the indictment against Barnhouse, who has dealt his entire life with serious mental health conditions, ends his 25-year struggle for justice. Quote...
So now all he has to deal with is his mental health conditions.
Yes.
No longer having to deal with those conditions while in a cage. So basically it sounds like they convicted a crazy man of a rape that he didn't commit, right? This was a rape charge?
Yes. Quote, we're thankful to the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office for moving quickly to dismiss the charges against Mr. Barnhouse. That quote from Seema Safia, staff attorney with the Innocence Project.
And by quickly, they mean after 25 years?
No, in March.
Okay.
There was the evidence presented to the court in March.
I see.
And then in May, they formally said, okay,
got it.
Charges dropped. So that's kind of quick for courts.
I see what you're saying.
March to May. Mr. Barnhouse has waited a long time for this day.
Yeah.
While no innocent person should have to endure wrongful incarceration, prison can be especially devastating for someone like Mr. Barnhouse, who is dealing with lifelong mental health conditions. Barnhouse said, it was rough. I was always innocent. I'm glad it's finally over. I feel so happy. In December...
I wonder if they're going to pay him out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would hope so.
We'll see if they cover that later in the story. In December 1992, Barnhouse was convicted of an April 21st, 1992 rape that occurred behind a vacant building in Muncie, Indiana. Shortly after the incident, police picked up Barnhouse and made him stand next to 3 squad cars and several police officers in an identification procedure. With police shining flashlights in his face, the victim identified him On the basis of this identification, Barnhouse was arrested. Known as a one-on-one show-up, this has been described as the most suggestive identification procedure ever used by police. So it sounds like
it's called a one-on-one show-up.
One-on-one show-up. So they've got somebody in handcuffs standing there next to police.
Mm-hmm.
They bring up the victim. Is this the guy that did it? And then the person basically says yes.
Yeah.
Instead of having a lineup of here's 10 people that fit the description, pick out the guy.
I thought it was 3 people. I thought you said they lined up 3 people.
They lined him up next to 3 squad cars and several police
3
officers.
Squad cars. Gotcha.
So, handcuffed man standing, being surrounded by police officers. Is this the guy in handcuffs? Is this the guy that did it?
Basically pointing at the guy, saying this is him, and trying to get
this is the guy we arrested. He's the guy that did it, right?
To say, yep.
Wow. At trial, the prosecution relied on the show-up identification as well as testimony of a forensics serologist from the Indiana State Police Crime Lab who provided testimony disproven by recent DNA testing that Barnhouse could not be excluded as a possible source of semen recovered from the victim's vaginal and cervical swabs and semen in the inside crotch area of her jeans, which she put back on immediately after the assault. In addition, a microscopic hair analysis from the Indiana State Police Crime Lab testified that a hair recovered from the victim's body matched Barnhouse's hair standard. He testified that if he placed that one hair on the victim's head or from the victim's body in a pile of Barnhouse's pubic hair, he could not pick out which hair it was. Which basically sounds like, yep, the hair's the same color and consistency, so therefore it's got to be his.
Yeah, that's different than DNA testing, which they didn't have back then, right? Or at least it wasn't as prolific.
Right. Significantly, in closing, the prosecution argued that this hair was a silent witness that proved that Barnhouse committed the crime. The prosecution also argued that the semen recovered from the victim's body and jeans came from Barnhouse, although Barnhouse maintained that he was mistakenly identified. Mm-hmm. He was convicted and sentenced to 80 years in prison. He eventually sought the help of the Innocence Project through a letter he wrote from prison. The Innocence Project, working with the Wrongful Conviction Clinic at Indiana University McKinney.
Can you imagine how many requests these people get?
Oh, I can't imagine.
I mean,
a lot.
You think the ACLU gets a lot of requests? I mean, the Innocence Project's got to be deluged with prisoners who, believe they were wrongfully convicted.
Right. So the Innocence Project and the Wrongful Conviction Clinic wound up getting some DNA samples, and the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office consented to the DNA testing. The same male DNA profile was identified on the sperm of the vaginal swab and the sperm on the jeans. Barnhouse was excluded as the source of the semen.
Case closed.
Based on these results, the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office agreed that Barnhouse had been wrongly convicted and jointly moved with the Innocence Project to vacate the conviction. Again, that motion filed back in March. The judge reversed the conviction in March, and then there was that further proceeding in May where they officially dismissed all of the charges against Barnhouse. Since his release in March, so he was released in March, but then, the charge wasn't officially dropped until 2 days ago. Barnhouse has received round-the-clock care and service and is doing very well, they say. He has also been reunited with his family after 25 years in prison as an innocent man. The Innocence Project and Francis Lee Watson, director of the Wrongful Conviction Clinic at Indiana University McKinney, notified Barnhouse of the news. In 2013, the FBI acknowledged that testimony asserting that a crime scene hair is a match to a particular defendant's hair through microscopic hair comparison implies a level of certainty that exceeds the limits of science.
I agree with them.
Yeah, I'm
surprised the FBI testified that way.
There's so much forensic stuff that goes on that's just it's not scientific. It fails just miserably to be forensic.
Which is why I'm surprised the FBI would even make a statement like that, because it would seem to make it harder for them to get convictions.
Possibly, but it could have just been, and I don't know the circumstances around what happened in 2013 where the FBI finally admitted, yeah, this is pseudoscience.
Yeah.
But, it does sound kind of like the whole phrenology thing to where you feel someone's got, oh, you've got a bump right here. That must mean that you have this disorder. And now we're going to wind up doing chemical castration.
Ooh.
Because they did that at one time in this
scary.
country. The story continues. A review by the FBI, the DOJ, the Innocence Project, and the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers of FBI analyst testimony and reports have revealed that analysts provided erroneous testimony or reports in more than 90% of case reviews so far.
We're going to continue here. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Beyond this news, what can we really glean from this? I can dig in a little bit further here. It's Free Talk Live.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears. Because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Homeowners have much more to worry about than just making their mortgage payment. One of our biggest expenses can be when unexpected repair bills hit us at home. Can you afford to repair or replace your home heating system? What about when your air conditioning stops working this summer? Or worse, a major plumbing problem or large appliance that just stops working? Well, with National Home, you can say goodbye to repair bills. That's right. If you own a home, you could stop paying for these costly repairs. Best of all, call now to get your home protected and 1 month of repair coverage for free. Just call 800-887-3022. Simply call our 24/7 repair hotline and pay nothing for covered repairs. Get total protection for your home's major appliances and systems so you have no more costly repair bills. Just call 800-887-3022 and never pay for repairs again. Get your home protected against costly repair bills right now. Call 800-887-3022. That's 800-887-3022. 800-887-3022.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I've got a MyPillow. Darryl's got a MyPillow. They're great pillows, and I use mine every night. And if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be using it because I've got other pillows I can use. But this one's fantastic, and I've been using it for about a year. It's great because it's designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. And it's also guaranteed to last for 10 years. You can also wash it in your washer and dryer. You can then dry it in the dryer. It's an amazing product. You go to mypillow.com, use code FTL, and that is how you get 50% off. And by the way, you've got a 60-day window of time to decide whether you like it or not. If you don't, you can ship it back to them, and they'll give you your purchase price back. So just go to mypillow.com with code FTL to get that half off, or 2 for the price of 1. It is up to you. That's mypillow.com. Coming up, some sneaky computer companies. Chris from thinkpenguin.com is going to tell us about Intel and HP doing some naughty things behind the scenes on some of their computers. We're going to get to that here in moments. We're talking about the Innocence Project and one of their more recent cases, case number 350 or something like that.
Case 350, as far as the people exonerated because of DNA evidence.
Right. Successful case number 350.
Correct.
Where the Innocence Project has teamed up with all these people who've been wrongfully imprisoned. This recent guy, like 2.5 decades.
25 years, yes.
For a rape he didn't commit, was convicted on the basis of a hair found on the body looked like it could have been his.
We put it up under a microscope and found it to be a quote-unquote match. And
which means
this
is a black hair with the same consistency as this other piece of black hair over here.
Pretty much. Yeah. And again,
but not a match as far as DNA was concerned, because 25 years later they did the DNA test and found out, oh, this guy's innocent.
Yep. And again, a review by the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Innocence Project, and the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers of FBI analysts' testimony and reports has revealed that analysts provided erroneous testimony or reports in more than 90% of cases reviewed so far. The analyst who provided the erroneous testimony in Barnhouse's case is not subject to that review because the review only includes FBI analysts, not the many analysts throughout the country who were trained by the FBI or who relied on the same techniques and testimony that the FBI used.
Needless to say, the rate of failure would probably be very similar with the rest of the analysts.
Probably, if not slightly higher.
Good chance of it.
And there's a quote from
these people
Watson.
Sound like they need to get fired. I mean, all of these analysts, 90% of the time they're wrong. That is just unsustainable in a marketplace.
We're talking about 25 years here. I wonder how many of them are still operating or still in, doing their thing even.
Probably not not very many.
Yeah.
Right? But they may have
most
new
of them
people
are probably
doing the same job.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it takes 25 years to get exonerated and for the evidence or testimony and the people testifying against you to be, identified as being essentially fraudulent.
Right, and there won't be any penalty. I mean, even if that person's still collecting a paycheck or whatever, it's not like they're going to dock his pay because he screwed something up. He did his job, right? Like, well, they gave me this hair to compare to this other hair, and I compared them, and I testified they looked similar. They're a match structurally, but that doesn't mean that they're a match DNA-wise.
Right.
So.
Francis Lee Watson, again, who's the director of the Wrongful Conviction Clinic at Indiana University McKinney, says the only way for the state to know whether other people were wrongly convicted by erroneous hair testimony is for the state to conduct a thorough and independent review of all cases where microscopic hair analysis was conducted and contributed to a conviction. I hope this heartbreaking case will spur the state to take immediate action. And then they have a link to a donation page where you can help, get Mr. Barnhouse back on his feet after 25 years of wrongful incarceration.
So it does sound like they're not going to give him anything. There's a donation page, so folks can help him out, and I'm certainly not saying to not do that, but the state was the one who put him in the prison cell.
Right. And again, because this is, so fresh, basically, to where, the charges were officially dismissed 2 days ago.
I see.
The process of, hey, wind up making some restitution is probably, just now being thought about.
Yeah, unfortunately, you probably have to bring a separate case to ask for restitution.
Oh, absolutely. You definitely have to bring a separate case.
It'd be nice if that could just be included as part of...
It would, but this is the state.
Right. It'd be nice if they said, oh, looks like we've wrongfully convicted you, sir. Well, here's the, the statute says that anyone convicted wrongfully gets, $100,000 per year for every year you're behind bars. So let's see, that's, a cool $2.5 million. Here you go. Here's a check on the way out the door.
I don't think it's that high.
Oh, there is no such thing.
Yeah.
I was saying that would be nice.
Say there's no such thing because I'm trying to find out if he has been or if he has requested compensation, restitution of some sort.
You think there is a statute?
One of the first articles that I see is from the Innocence Project from 2016, where the Michigan Senate was voting on a bill to wind up compensating those that were wrongfully convicted.
Okay.
There have been other stories to where there were the three guys in North Carolina. I forget their names, but they all were exonerated. They were huge victories for the Innocence Project. Had served 39 years on death row before being exonerated, and several months later wound up getting multi-million-dollar compensation packages for that wrongful conviction.
All right.
So, yeah, I think it's very likely that William Barnhouse will wind up getting something. Now,
what's a good amount?
The problem is it's going to come from the taxpayers who were funding to hold him.
That's a problem.
It's not coming from the judge that wrongly sentenced this guy. It's not coming from the prosecutor. It's not coming from the analyst that compared the hair and then testified and said, these two hairs look close enough. String them up by the balls, boys.
It's sick. But, again, what can we do to make this different in the future? Obviously, DNA testing.
Remove all of the various immunities that government officials have so that if they screw up, they personally wind up having to be held responsible. If I screw up by providing inaccurate testimony to a police officer, even though I don't know that it's inaccurate, well, I wind up getting convicted of providing false information to a police officer.
At least on the federal level.
Justice. Well, even at the local level, they could charge you with it.
I don't think they have that charge. They have obstructing. They might be able to finagle that into a charge, but that's an actual charge when it comes to lying to a federal agent. I don't believe every state has. Some states may have that, but I don't think all of them do.
Yeah, I know I've been told, numerous times, it's illegal to provide inaccurate information to a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, probably would be obstructing or refusal to process or something like that. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Better to keep your mouth closed than to tell a lie to a cop, in my opinion. 855-450-3733.
Right, but if they ask, did you see a man in a red coat, and you think the coat was a different color, and you're like, I didn't see anything, and then they have video evidence of
better
you saw
to not
something?
say anything, is what I said. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Lifetime Grazed 100% grass-fed beef has the health benefits you seek. When compared to conventional beef, it offers good fats while virtually eliminating the bad. That's the result of cattle who never eat grain, ever. Rich in antioxidants, including vitamin E, C, beta-carotene, and CLA. No artificial hormones, antibiotics, or other drugs. For all our fresh, non-cooked products with only 100% grass-fed beef, go to MidasResources.com. Use voucher code GCN to get 30% off your order. MidasResources.com or find us on Facebook.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Free Talk Live.
Where did you get this right to tell me what I can do in my business? Where do you get the right?
I support private property.
No, you don't.
You're a liar. You don't understand it.
I'm a liar.
You're either a liar or you don't understand what private property is. One or the other.
Your house is private property.
Yeah, my business is
you
too.
Open up a business
it is
public. Now
open
it's
to
private.
the public.
As far as I'm concerned,
well,
that's just an opinion.
You can redefine property if that's what you want to do. Where do you get the right to tell me what I can do in my business?
My lungs. So when they pass a law,
the government
has lungs, sir.
The law. You just pointed it out.
I'm being silly.
The law.
You're being a Nazi.
You're absolutely right. The law is what gives you the right. The law is a bunch of words written on paper by liars and thieves, and you're willing to use that force that they have to reach your own ends. When you're willing to do that, then anybody can do anything to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Okay, toll-free number, if you want to join us here on Free Talk Live, it's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Darryl, you had mentioned before the show there was this story about NSA malware that was crippling computers around the world. That's not a surprise. But turns out it's a ransomware build of that malware that has been crippling computers, which means Bitcoin is hitting the news in a big way right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And not in a good way. We're going to get into that coming up here in moments. But we're in the middle of this, where we finished the story about the accused rapist who's been exonerated after 25 years in prison because of DNA evidence. And I just wanted to kind of talk about, what are some of the changes that can be made. You talked, Darryl, about ending immunity. The government agents, some people don't realize this, but government agents have all kinds of different types of immunity that have been built into the laws to prevent them from being held responsible financially or criminally for a lot of the things that they do as part of their jobs.
And legislators, this is something that surprised the ever-loving crap out of me a couple weeks ago. Apparently, there are legislators that don't realize that police and other government officials have these immunities.
Oh, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, how would they know? There are so many laws, there's so many rules, there's so many statutes. No one could possibly know what they all are.
Right, but it's hard to be, and maybe it's just because I'm a news junkie.
That's right. It's because you and those of us on the show, we pay attention to criminal justice news, and the average person doesn't. The average person,
but you would think that a state representative
would
pay a little bit more attention to things.
No.
Especially one serving on the Judiciary Committee.
Okay, you would expect
of
a little
the
more.
Legislative branch. Yeah, you would expect them to pay attention.
Okay. Yeah, okay. You would expect a little more out of someone in judiciary or criminal justice.
And there was that hearing that we were at a couple weeks ago, and thank you for filming, where it was on a bill that would expand the authority of state police. And it would have codified again that as long as they act in good faith, they can't be held accountable for what they do.
True. What happened with that bill? Do you remember offhand?
It's not been exec.
Okay.
That's the term for when the committee makes a decision on what to do with the bill. They've not held that yet, to my knowledge.
Waiting. Okay.
But I testified, and there was one of the state reps who was like, but what do you mean that they can do whatever they want and not be held accountable? And so then I rattled off like half a dozen cases where police have done horrible things, like throw a flashbang grenade into a baby's crib, shoot a 7-year-old girl during a no-knock raid because she didn't obey the commands to not move, put your hands where I can see them, get on the ground. Well, we didn't know that she was a 7-year-old girl. We just knew that she disobeyed our command. We didn't know that there was a baby in the crib on the other side of the wall because we had no way of knowing what was on the other side of the wall.
In those cases, they'll first be sort of let off the hook by the claim that, well, we were just doing our job. We had a right to be there. We had our warrant. We were just serving the warrant. And that includes bombing, houses and, shooting flashbangs
but
and all that.
But if I did any of those things, I would be in prison right now.
Sure. Well, you don't have the authorization of a man in a robe.
The police do those things, and they're told, well, there's no claim upon which relief can be given. None of the civil rights have been violated. They were acting in good faith.
Well, right. And here's the thing. Even if it can be said that they were acting in good faith, so therefore, or let's say they, even if it was wrong, like they weren't acting in good faith and they did something wrong, a lot of times the bureaucrats themselves won't be held responsible. The department or the taxpayers or whatever, they're the ones that have to foot whatever kind of restitution comes up. The bureaucrats themselves are protected beyond anything else out there. It's very hard to get one of them to be held personally responsible for their own actions.
Right. Every now and then, you will see a story of police officer convicted of some sort of horrible offense because he did something that he knew to be wrong and violated someone's rights. But then any restitution to the victim comes from the taxpayers, not from the officer.
Almost always, yeah. So those are the things that need to change.
Yeah, and you know what bugs me about all of this is the cops are trained to lie, and this is why when
no joke.
For people who have interacted with police on a regular basis, they're lying, and they know they're lying, but they're trained to lie, and they can get away with it. So when they order you to do something, they might know that they're ordering you to do something that's not even unconstitutional or violation of your rights, but they don't care because they can use that against you later.
So long as you do it,
disobey.
Yeah,
right. So you can't even refuse to disobey.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but then you get
more consequences will come immediately.
Right.
And you have to sort it out later.
What did the judge down in Palmer tell you when you got arrested for filming inside the town hall? She said something along the lines of, just do whatever the police officers say and then file a complaint and challenge it later.
I don't agree with that particular viewpoint. But yeah, that's a common statist viewpoint, is that even if you believe the officer is wrong, you should obey the officer.
Yeah,
that is a huge problem and will lead to oppression.
I don't even think that's just the judge's opinion. That's like in law somewhere. It's there's rulings on that.
There's definitely court precedent to back up that judge's opinion.
It's just what they want you to do. I mean, there have been plenty of instances where activists up here have stood on principle and gotten themselves arrested, just as you did a few weeks ago, and they challenge it successfully through the courts after that. That essentially brings the case for you, right? So the criminal case, if something happens to you and then you want to challenge it, they're saying, "Oh, go ahead and pay $300 and take a case to court." Whereas if you get arrested, you go to jail for a moment, or you go through and get handcuffed and taken back to the police station and all of that. But then there's already a case that's been filed in the system. And yes, it is a different kind of defense to have to defend criminally versus going to civil courts and suing. But it can be done both ways, is what I'm saying.
And civil court is incredibly difficult.
Yes, it's
because
very
they
arduous.
will almost always say you have failed to state a claim upon which relief can be granted.
Yeah,
because here's all the
dismissed.
Immunities they have.
Yeah. So I don't agree with the judge's opinion in that case. And in the case in Palmer, I was arrested for recording video in a town hall. Kind of similar to yours, but you were arrested for being in the street.
Well, we printed up this sign that says no filming. The ink is still wet on the sign, but we printed a sign.
Right. They just put a paper sign up in the window or on the front door of the town hall saying no video recording allowed, because they knew we were coming there that day.
Who specifically did that?
Some town bureaucrat.
It wasn't like...
We don't know who it was.
Yeah, it wasn't like something that was authorized by...
Well, someone authorized it.
It was authorized by the guy sitting at the computer that hit print.
That's right. And
or the gal.
So that's just like what you were saying, where the cops will say something to you illegal, or in this case, any bureaucrat will say things to you that they're not legally allowed to do. But it's the question of, can they get away with it? And if they make a statement that sounds authoritative, and they're standing there with their hand on their gun, and they got a badge and a barking dog or whatever, people will think that this is the truth.
I'm going to have to ask you to search your cart. Yes, you have to ask, because if you just do it, you know that's illegal, and evidence gets thrown out, and most people are too
ignorant. They're ignorant. They don't know.
To know that when they say, I have to ask to search your car, you can say, well, I have to ask you to produce a warrant.
Yeah, and the best part of this is if you don't respond by saying, I invoke my right to remain silent, that can be used against you as consent for the search.
Yes.
So, there's more to say here about, what can we do? So, obviously, getting rid of bureaucratic immunity, that would be a huge step in the right direction, but also would be incredibly difficult to pull that one off. That's not to say we shouldn't try, but it would be interesting to see those bureaucrats come in to try to defend their immunity in whatever public hearing would happen here in New Hampshire if somebody were to put that bill forward. Hint, hint to any legislators listening. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. More coming up. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
Hi, John here again. After another month of being on several supplements from Synergistic Nutrition, including Synergy One, the Andreas Black Cumin Seed Oil, and other supplements, I've lost another 10 pounds for a total of 20 pounds. My belt size has been reduced by 1 3/4 inches. My knees don't ache as much anymore, and I'm walking my dogs twice as long as I did a month ago. I sleep very well and have a lot more energy. I noticed that when I cut myself accidentally, that I was bleeding much more profusely and that the blood was bright red. Previously, I didn't bleed much at all. It was dark red in color. So I know this protocol is working to keep my blood healthy. Additionally, I now have the energy to do calisthenics several times a week, in addition to the extra walking. My hunger has been reduced a lot. I take 2 shakes a day, one with each meal.
Call Synergistic Nutrition at 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com. That's sacredseedoils.com.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from Numana. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Tonight, it's Ian,
Chris, and Darryl.
Coming up tonight, the ransomware hitting the world at the moment. Thanks to the NSA. NSA's malware was released a little while back, and now apparently some hackers and crackers have been busily modifying it to deliver ransomware into people's system. And what is ransomware? Well, we'll tell you more about it coming up here in moments. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, though, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, and Skype in to join us here at Skype username LRN.FM. We were talking about people who have been exonerated after having been convicted and spent time, in the most recent case, 25 years behind bars.
Yes.
For a rape that a man did not commit. He's been exonerated by DNA evidence now. And Darryl, the first thing that you said when I asked, well, what can we do about this? Because it's one thing to report the good news, like, okay, great, there's number 350 of innocent person who has been released from prison since the Innocence Project began. That's great news, but where can we take this from here? So you said get rid of bureaucratic immunity, things like qualified immunity. What are some of the other names?
There's qualified immunity,
sovereign
immunity, and then there's statutory immunity.
Right. These are
so statutory immunity is Some men and women in a building with a giant gold nipple on top of it decided to write something in statute saying that you can't be held liable when you do
Something
X.
wrong. Yeah.
Qualified immunity is basically, well, courts have ruled that you can't be held liable when you do X. And and the other one, sovereign immunity, is you can't be held liable because you're one of the king's men.
Yep, you're a government worker. So you're more special and more important than everyone
and because
else.
the very first king said that he had immunity, and then all of his men had immunity, then all of the king's men
for all time
wind up having immunity.
That's how crazy it is. That's really how it is.
That's why nobody got held accountable when Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
That's what that story was
Sovereign
about.
immunity.
So here's the other. So let's think about some other things that could change here. I think one of the things that a lot of us would like to see in our fantasy realm is an end to the government monopoly over courts, and
Certainly.
have private arbitration, a competitive market in courts, basically. That would not be one size fits all, and that is a big topic that I don't know how deep we want to get into, but there's a great book called The Market for Liberty that I made an audiobook of years ago. It's free to read and free to download online. It's a fantastic book by Morris and Linda Tannehill, where they get into some really interesting detail on how a system like that might work, because obviously it's hard to kind of put yourself outside of the current structure that we have and try to imagine what would things be like if victims and the victimizer actually were able to choose their court, basically, which is kind of a crazy idea, and it's kind of hard to really grasp.
Right.
But what it could result in is, of course, better courts moving faster and more efficiently and giving better rulings, and more importantly, accountability. If somebody is to, if we don't have a government monopoly on, let's say, law enforcement, and again, law enforcement would be the wrong term, let's say protection. If we don't have a government monopoly on protection, which of course we know the current government doesn't even have an obligation to protect you, but let's presume they did.
Well, don't presume that now. Most people don't know this.
Yeah,
well, they write on the side of their police cars to protect and serve.
But that's not what the courts have ruled in numerous.
Well, they are there to serve
but
and
it's what
protect.
they write on the side of their cop cars, so it must be true.
Well, it is true. They just don't say the full statement. The full statement is the police are there to serve and protect the state.
Yeah.
They're not there to serve and protect you.
Right.
But people jump to a conclusion and figure it means they're there to serve and protect you, but that's just not the case.
Right.
But let's just presume that the police did actually have an obligation to protect you, and every now and then they might actually provide that service to you, just because. In the marketplace, you would have a contract with a service agency, and you could try to protect yourself as well. But
people do if you have money, right?
Yeah, that is available today. And if they don't deliver on their service of protection, then you might get your
Fire 'em.
You not only could you fire them, but you might get some sort of liability out of them for that. Meaning that if they violate their contract, there could be provisions to where they'd have to pay up, and they might have insurance to make sure they could pay on situations like that. So let's come back around to this idea of the case of the rape. If there's some sort of private investigator that's checking out this case, and he comes and says, Mr. Smith, I believe that, I forget the dude's name.
Barnhouse.
Mr. Barnhouse, we believe that you committed this rape. You're under arrest. Well, now they've just taken that man away from his freedom. They've conducted the act of kidnapping against him under the auspices that this person did what they say that he did. But if it turns out that they can't prove that he did what they say he did, if the evidence doesn't convince, if there is any evidence, and if it doesn't convince whoever the arbitrator is in that case, then the ruling would be against the company that picked that man up. And the ruling would be, not only is this man to be set free, but you must compensate him for what you did. Right. And that just doesn't happen today. And so there's no penalty for prosecutors and for police and for all these bureaucrats who get involved in picking up the wrong guy. The police want to pick somebody up because they want to make it look like they got somebody. They want to make
prosecutors want the conviction because they get promotions based on conviction rates.
And they want to run for political office, and they want to be able to point to their conviction record and say, look, I've saved us from all these dastardly criminals. When, of course, many of them were innocent to begin with. So, again, there's no punishment for these people in the current government monopoly structure. And
Right.
I'm sure they like it that way because it means they can screw up and ruin people's lives without any real kind of
and
responsibility.
The scenario that you're giving here of there's not a monopoly over justice would, by its very nature, also include what I suggested of eliminate the immunities.
Mm-hmm.
So, these aren't mutually exclusive things. So, the scenario of competing courts would, by its very nature, eliminate the immunities.
Well, yours was a first step, right? Ending the entire monopoly on justice is going to be a very hard thing to do.
Yes.
It's a little less hard to just end immunities. Like
Right.
you could end the immunities right now and still have a state. You could still have the monopoly court system.
Right.
They're going to fight tooth and claw against it.
Correct.
But it would at least be politically more feasible sooner to do something like that than to say, all right, let's completely rearrange the chairs of justice. That whole system
Right.
needs to be completely reworked.
And dare I say, if the police in, I forget the municipality in Indiana where this happened, if the police weren't, trying to find somebody with 2 joints and a bag of something, then maybe they would have had time to actually investigate and try to find the person that raped someone 25 years ago.
Maybe so.
Because right now, all we know is this woman was raped 25 years ago. The guy they convicted wasn't the guy that did it. There's a rapist still out there.
There's, it's true, but there's also an issue of competency and whether or not there's even any evidence in the first place that has been left behind that they can go on to try and track somebody down that may have, actually done the rape.
They've got the DNA evidence on her genes that they used to compare to his DNA to say that he didn't do it.
Sure.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Michael is on the line in Orlando, watching us on YouTube via cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, Michael.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I heard earlier. I don't know which one of you guys were talking about the how cops are trained to lie and everything, right?
Yes.
Someone said that.
That was me.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's such a stretch to when you look into some of the the shootings or whatever that they could be fake because they are trained to lie, like you were saying. Like, I live in Orlando, like I told you, and the Pulse nightclub shooting, I actually even knew one of the people that was there on television, and I 100% know that was a set up shooting. There's crisis actors there. I knew half the people there.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can follow what you're saying here. You're saying that the Pulse nightclub shooting wasn't real?
No, that it was a real event, but it wasn't like people actually didn't die there. That was like I would consider it.
What was the real event? Because the whole point of the news was that people died in that shooting. So what were you?
Well, yeah,
what are you saying
that they
happened?
died, but the people that they said died, half of them weren't even actual people. I mean, you could do research on it for 10 minutes. You'd see it. And I actually knew one of the people there, and he's a show. Works in a magician show. He's an actor. And he was there. So
and he's saying there was shooting, but nobody got shot or no one died.
No,
Hold on, Michael. This is the first claim I've heard about this. 855-450 free, but not surprised that someone would say that.
Bitcoin.com is of the opinion that the current Bitcoin core development team is not taking satisfactory steps to ensure the growth and advancement of Bitcoin in accordance with Satoshi's vision. As community efforts to resolve these problems have failed, it is necessary to resolve them with a different approach by using subreddit r/BTC instead of r/Bitcoin and running Bitcoin Unlimited. You are casting a vote against the current development team. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
A funny thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Modern advertisers have been trained to look for trackability in their advertising, and web search ads are great for that. They also help you get the consumer that's looking for products like yours in the moment. But they're expensive, and they do nothing to convince people to try your product segment in the first place. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. If you can use national exposure, Free Talk Live's on more than 150 stations, and we can help advertisers with little budgets and big ones. Send me an email, mark@freetalklive.com. It's mark@freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 12th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.41 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,229 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,794. Antiwar.com reports in a move that is simultaneously seen as undermining the Saudi war in Yemen and also a virtually necessary consequence of that war. A group of political, military, and tribal figures led by former Aden Governor Abduruz Zubadi have announced that they are launching a formal movement for the secession of South Yemen, making the announcement with the flag of the former country. South Yemen was conquered by North Yemen in 1994, unifying the country under northern ruler Ali Abdullah Salah. Salah ruled unified Yemen until 2012 when Abdurabu Mansour Hadi was appointed to replace him. Hadi resigned in 2015, leading to the Saudi invasion to try to reinstall him by force. Northern Yemen is controlled by the Shiite Houthi movement now, while the Saudi-backed forces of Hadi rule the south, with the country once again split largely along the historic border. There was always some southern nationalism within Yemen, and the war's de facto split has brought it back to the fore. Hadi allies are complaining the secessionist movement might undermine the Saudi bid to conquer the whole country for them, while many Southerners say they expect the smaller Gulf Arab states, who are also deeply involved in the Saudi war, to back the right of self-determination for the South. Despite formally being a unified country for over 20 years, Southern Yemenis long complained of the discrimination by northern rulers, and the various crackdowns by Salah et al. Against secessionist movements in the past gave them very much the feel of an occupied territory. Ironically, despite a split being the opposite of the Saudi goal in the war, the same war made it a de facto reality, and accepting it as a de jure reality too would be a very simple way to resolve the ongoing war, assuming the Saudis would accept not only a sovereign southern Yemen, but a North Yemen that has a substantial and influential Shiite population. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports 3 Boeing mechanics servicing an Air Force One plane caused $4 million in damage and increased the risk of a fire in mid-flight if not corrected, according to a federal investigation. One of the 2 747-200B aircraft, which is designated as Air Force One when the president flies, was being serviced at a Boeing plant in San Antonio on April 1st through 10th, 2016, according to an incident report released by the Air Force investigators this week. According to the report, the oxygen system became contaminated when mechanics caused the mishap by supplying and using non-oxygen clean tools, parts, components, a regulator, and an unauthorized cleaning procedure while performing oxygen system leak checks. Boeing issued a statement saying the oxygen system was remedied by Boeing at no cost to the government. The plane has returned to the Air Force, where it's being prepared for presidential service. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports California Governor Jerry Brown on Thursday proposed a funding increase for the state attorney general to create more than 30 new positions dedicated to combating President Donald Trump's policies. Democratic attorneys general in states across the country have assumed lead roles in opposing some of the Republican president's agenda. State attorneys general in Washington and Hawaii successfully sued to block Trump's executive order restricting travel from some Muslim-majority countries, and California Attorney General Xavier Becerra has pledged to defend the state's environmental standards and healthcare access. Brown has been particularly outspoken against Trump's policies. In budget revisions released on Thursday, Brown's office proposed a $6.5 million increase for California's Department of Justice, enough to fund 31 positions to address various actions taken at the federal level that impact public safety, healthcare, the environment, consumer affairs, and general constitutional issues. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Retail giant CVS is gearing up for floods of customers seeking the perfect meaningless piece of crap for their office gift swap. The company is making no secret that when it comes to wasting the obligatory $20 on a useless electronic dartboard or pretzel maker for someone you couldn't care less about, CVS is your best option.
Our incredible selection of worthless shit is just the thing that nobody wants. We guarantee you'll find nothing personal or unique in our store.
The company is offering massive discounts on otherwise unsellable items for holiday parties you don't even want to go to, like the $12 decorative lantern, which is expected to be a big hit with customers who grab the first thing they see when they walk in the store.
I really wanted to get something that said, I don't care about any of you people and I didn't put any effort into this.
CVS also has Hanukkah gifts for coworkers who you think might be Jewish, like candles and those little plastic net bags full of chocolate money.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. In the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
As we continue, we'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. Coming up, we got some disturbing tech news with a major strike against people all around the world by a hack group that has utilized NSA software, NSA malware, to deliver what appears to be a bunch of ransomware. We'll tell you more about what ransomware is. It is not good. You do not want to get hit by one of these viruses. We'll tell you more about that coming up. And, of course, you can join us here, 855-450-3733. And we'll continue with your calls and thoughts. I do want to let you know, of course, about the terrible healthcare situation that we have here in the United States. And, of course, the government isn't going to make anything better for you anytime soon. You've got to take that responsibility into your own hands. And one way that you can do that is by going to healthexcellenceselect.com. Healthexcellenceselect.com will give you a proactive health assessment daily. They are not insurance, by the way. This is a healthcare sharing organization, so it's an alternative to insurance. They also offer no-charge 24-hour access to doctors, a medical information card you can give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional you want. And those doctors include traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and the price over at healthexcellenceselect.com. We go back to Michael in Orlando. So, Michael, you're trotting out a claim that is very similar to some other claims that we've heard from some of the more conspiracy-minded folks who call this show, and that is that not a single one of the mass shootings that have occurred in our adult lifetimes were ever real. And you haven't said that yet, but that is basically sort of the concurrence of all of these different claims that have been made. Whether it's Sandy Hook, the elementary school shooting, people say that wasn't real, it didn't happen, the kids didn't exist. I mean, there's all kinds of just ridiculous claims. There was the claim about the reporter that got shot. Remember that crazy dude that shot the reporter out on the dock like a year or two ago? And now you're saying the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando from like a year and a half ago
About
or
a year
something?
ago.
That you're saying that was fake. And I just wanted to hear a little bit more about your claims here, Michael, because obviously there were hundreds of people in the club at that time. Are you saying that those people were all, actors, or like what are you saying?
Sure. Well, I don't want to get bunched in with every conspiracy theory, but
well, this is basically the
just
same exact conspiracy theory,
Sure,
just
it
a
is.
different
Yeah, but
location.
Sure, it could be looked at that way, but I'm not disputing. I'm just talking about one specific.
Yeah, so let's hear.
So
What are
the
you claiming
50
happened?
people dead and the 53
'Cause I live
people
here, so-
wounded.
It doesn't matter that
don't
you
exist?
live there. You don't live in the club.
Sure, it does, because I know everyone that lives here.
You
Most
know
of the people
all-
that
know
work
everyone?
at
In
all
Orlando?
50
that,
people
in that
that
individual
are reported
area.
dead.
Sure.
The
Well, the
53
thing is-
people reported wounded. You know all 103 people?
No, I know a couple of them, not all of them.
You know a couple of who?
The people that were there.
You know the couple of the people that got shot?
Yeah, and the people that were there on video that were.
Okay,
just,
wait. I thought you said
crying.
earlier that people didn't get shot.
No, no one did get shot there. No one actually.
Then why did you just say you knew people who got shot?
The people that were reported shot,
Well,
probably.
I don't understand why it's such a big stretch when you said that cops are trained to lie. Why would it be a stretch that they could be lying about this?
It's way different when the cops are trained to lie to you on the side of the road when they pull you over and they separate
But
you
not
and
a
they
big
say.
So the hospital personnel that were treating gunshot victims, they were all in on some sort of cover-up here?
A lot of the ones that were interviewed, the specific guy that was saying that he wore his bloody shoes for like 3 months. Yeah, he was definitely a paid person, I would say. I don't know. A lot of if you know the people that were in the incident, the Pulse nightclub, a lot of them had criminal backgrounds or people that had criminal backgrounds.
What the hell's that
They
have to
got
do with
wiped
anything?
away. Well, that's a way of getting them to,
You're saying they
You
hired.
guys know
Hold
what a
on.
crisis
You're
actor
saying
is?
they hired. It's ridiculous. You're saying they hired.
That's a real thing.
You're saying they hired convicts and offered to wipe away their criminal records if they would go into the Pulse nightclub and agree with some sort of concocted story about a shooting?
Well, is that a super far stretched idea? I mean, why wouldn't they do that?
What's
it's a gun grab and
What's
you got
the-
a money grab.
What's the objective?
Kill
Like,
two birds with one stone.
what's the
I
objective?
just said it was a money grab and a gun grab. You're gonna have guns. Maybe they don't want certain guns out in the street.
Did that happen? No, that didn't happen, did it?
What's the objective what would be the objective of like the whole crisis
The
acting
lawyer inside
I mean,
of me is going to say asked and answered. He already said that it's a money grab and they wanted to take away guns.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, they did have a big charity, and none of the victims had to pay any of their medical bills, which is very odd. Never happened before, but.
So now you're saying the fact that somebody raised some money for the victims is evidence that this was a conspiracy?
Well, a lot of the people had their GoFundMe
what is
accounts
wrong
before
with
the
you?
shooting even happened.
Seriously,
well,
is there
I live
something
here and I
wrong-
just did
like,
research. I'm just intelligent.
I know they don't have basements there in Orlando, so what is your problem?
Well, I know one of the crisis actors that was there. That's why
You know a crisis actor. Tell me what that
yeah,
means.
he said it was a fake event.
Uh-huh.
It's what you
Just
call
because
it's
somebody
real.
tells you something doesn't mean that
No,
that's
I-
the truth either.
No, it's
You
not.
know
I
that,
did
right?
a lot of research on it. You could do your own research. You could find out in 10 minutes.
We found out because we had seen plenty of reports and interviews with people who were there. There were hundreds of people in the club, many of whom were hiding from some madman who was shooting at people and shooting people to death. Are you
Well, that sounds
saying
like
that someone told you that they've been paid by the government to go into that club and to pretend as though there was a mass shooting there? By the way, there were
what happened was an entertainment agency is hired by the government, and the entertainment agency hired the guy that I know that was on television that was he was hugging the apparent lady that lost her son, and she's a a crisis actor. She tried to get on a lot of different. I mean, I don't know if you guys don't do it. It just takes. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know this. I mean,
Just because someone makes a meme that shows a girl who looks similar to other girls at pictures from scenes of violence doesn't mean that that person is correct. You understand that, right?
No, you have to do your own research on it and come up with your own conclusions.
Yeah, and other people have done research and they've found out.
You just said one of the people there at the studio said that cops are trained to lie, so now all of a sudden they only can lie in one situation. They can't lie in something else.
Yeah, it's not. The cops don't have to lie when you can hear gunshots coming from a nightclub, dude.
Well, do you know what a speaker system is? And it's a club. They have a speaker system. They could just have a recording of gunshots going off, and everyone gets scared. It's called a drill.
Are you really?
And then the bullet wounds and all of the people working in the hospital, they're all in on it.
It's like a real life movie, Daryl. It's all just a Hollywood make-believe. No one ever gets shot.
Why would crazy people? Why would the government? Why would the money be? I don't understand the whole money grab thing. I mean, they can arrest people and basically for pointless charges and get money out of people too. Why would they?
They got millions of dollars.
Who got millions of dollars?
Yeah, I mean, they can just increase taxes. I don't understand why.
Go do your information on it, and you'll find out.
No, I'm asking you. Who got millions of dollars? Who?
Everybody. If you add up all the money that went to the families of the fake deaths, they got millions of dollars. And it's a fake event.
Hold on, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense.
And you guys should
hold on, quit talking, all right? We can't have a conversation if you're not going to listen to the question. So hold on a moment. I'm trying to understand this. You just said that actors received millions of dollars
from where?
Because of money that they were given because of deaths that didn't happen?
Yeah, because people got upset because people they thought died didn't really die, and they gave money to these people that are liars and criminals. And they took all the money.
Okay, so you
this
keep
is a big
bringing up.
scam,
Hold on,
is what
you
you're
keep
saying.
bringing up the fact that there were people that had criminal records. One out of every 3 people in this country. Hold on, listen.
He can't listen.
One out of every 3 people in this country has a criminal record because there are so many damn laws on the books. There's this thing called the war on drugs that winds up allowing police to arrest anybody for basically anything, and then they make stuff up.
I can't
so of
handle
course there's
this.
people with criminal records, you madman.
I can't handle more of this guy. I mean, it's just my IQ's dropping as the call continues. I can't even say thank you for that call. It was absolutely horrifying. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here to announce that KFC's new spicy, crispy Zinger chicken sandwich is now available in a $5 fill-up for limited time. Why? Because who wants to spend $7 on a meal at a burger place when you could spend $5 on a hand-breaded Zinger chicken sandwich, wedges, a cookie, and a drink at KFC? I mean, we specialize in chicken. You need another reason? I didn't think so. Try the Zinger in a $5 fill-up at KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good. Limited time offer at participating KFCs. Tax extra.
There are 2 things every parent wants when their child goes to college. For their child to do well and a way to afford it. Now, with Discover Student Loans, parents can have the best of both worlds. Not only do our loans cover up to 100% of school-certified costs with 0 fees, but we'll give them a cash reward for each new student loan if they earn at least a 3.0 GPA or equivalent. That means every A in history or B in math could help them earn a cash reward for good grades. Just one of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now in 15 minutes or less at discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. The Skype username is lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
So, that last call.
Plot twist, that last call didn't even happen.
He was a crisis actor. This whole crisis actor thing, it's so total like internet conspiracy theory, meme-based. I mean, no real evidence whatsoever for it from what I've seen.
Just do your research and you'll find out that the internet doesn't even exist.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to hear this because it's like people are just looking for some sort of thing to believe in, something that makes their life feel meaningful, and I don't understand why folks are so attracted to these what are obviously ridiculous conspiracy theories. I mean, it's more believable that the U.S. didn't go to the moon than that the Pulse nightclub shooting wasn't real, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'll give you that.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I found an article here from the Washington Post. And it's very lengthy. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It actually is titled "The Truth Behind Your Orlando Shooting Hoaxes, Theories, and Conspiracies." I'm going to take an excerpt from the beginning of this story and from the very end. What happens here is Caitlin Dewey answers several of the common theories about the Pulse nightclub shooting specifically. And she writes in the beginning, "The internet always floods with rumors and theories after a tragedy, and the aftermath of the Orlando shooting has predictably been no different. In the immediate absence of a clear and coherent narrative, people are all too willing to invent their own versions. On Facebook, certain skeptics have circulated memes that allege 3 shooters attacked the Pulse nightclub. On YouTube, a viral video implies a link between Omar Mateen, the alleged shooter, and an Iranian imam. On Twitter, rumors floated that Mateen used the gay dating app Jacked and that a screenshot proved so. And in more obscure corners of the internet, a surprising, but not unusual, number of people have insisted that the whole thing was a false flag attack, a hoax." She says that the people who propagate these rumors, the last sort of rumors especially, often claim that the mainstream media never listens to or addresses them, and that is largely true because to someone who has just dropped everything, hopped a flight to Florida, and spent 3 days interviewing traumatized witnesses, the notion that the whole thing might be made up is patently ridiculous, which I completely agree with. And just because this guy calls a radio show and says, well, one of my friends is a crisis actor. Well, that's just you making a claim on the radio. I mean, what's more believable? Hundreds of victims? People who are there on the scene? People who actually witnessed what happened? Or the fact that some random guy calls a radio show and claims to know someone who is a so-called crisis actor who was on the scene? Now, look, either the guy who either he does have a friend who claimed to be a crisis actor and his friend is just effing with him, or
which is possible,
or he's just making it up,
which is also possible.
Yeah, it's one or the other, because the odds that this in any way was a false flag is absolutely patently ridiculous.
I just have the greatest conspiracy theory to debunk all the conspiracy theories. So the people going around saying I'm a crisis actor, I took part in blah blah blah, they're all crisis actors paid by the government to circulate conspiracy theories
about crisis actors,
and false flags.
Now it's getting deep. Yeah. So here's the last part of her story. So again, she answers several questions about conspiracy theory stuff.
But just for the record, I don't actually believe the thing that I just said.
Right. Last and very least, she says, so again, this is after several questions. Yep. Last and very least, after tragedies like this one, and I'll post this full link on our Facebook and Twitter so you can check it out when you want. Thousands of internet goons inevitably come out of the woodwork to claim the whole thing was a hoax. They've said it's not physically possible to reload a semi-automatic rifle as many times as Mateen must have done. I remember hearing that claim when we were first talking about this a year ago. And that they're suspicious why there isn't any cell phone footage. Some conspiracy theorists also insist Mateen was working for the CIA or FBI, since he'd had contact with the agency before. And then she asks some of her experts here to address this. She is talking to Matt Zaptowski, Mark Berman, and somebody else. Anyway, back to the story here. Ingram says, do we have accurate information on how many rounds were fired and how long time of a period? Regardless, the weapon he had used 30-round magazines. It takes just a few seconds to swap magazines. Manuals for similar weapons state an effective firing rate of 45 rounds per minute, but if he was just spraying around and didn't care about accuracy, he could have been shooting considerably faster than that. This is allegedly, and then they give some audio of him shooting 24 rounds in 9 seconds. Zaptowski says there does exist some news footage of the immediate aftermath. I'm no gun expert, but I'm not exactly sure what is meant by it being physically impossible to reload a gun more than a certain number of times. Media has interviewed countless law enforcement officials, hospital staffer, witnesses, survivors, and victims' family members. Are they all in on the hoax? Paid actors? That's absurd. Now, what is it? Is it Occam's razor that is that which is the most likely explanation is the explanation? Just because it's the odds are that that's what it is, and I'm sure I'm misstating it to some extent here, but I mean the odds that it would be anything but legitimate is absolutely ridiculous. And further, one of the other guys here, Berman, says, wait, the conspiracy theorists think that Mateen was working for the FBI, so the FBI wanted him to carry out an attack that would cast them in a bad light for interviewing this man multiple times and failing to stop him?
So I just pulled up Occam's razor. Was a problem-solving principle attributed to William of Occam from the late 1200s. His principle can be interpreted as, quote, among competing hypotheses, the one with the fewest assumptions should be selected.
That's it. Thank you for clarifying. Much better than my terrible recollection of what it was.
Yeah, so the one basically where you have to, assume the fewest things.
Right, so let's compare. You've got our caller who is assuming all kinds of things. He's assuming his friend who claimed to be a crisis actor is telling him the truth, and he's assumed all the, the beliefs
He's assuming that all of the hospital workers
were in on it.
Were in on something. And now I do know for a fact that there are drills where, they have crisis act of we're going to simulate an accident, but it's never people that are dead. It's we're simulating that there was a car accident or a chemical spill, and we just want to make sure that the communications are working properly so that if there is an actual accident, that the hospital gets notified correctly and this group gets notified and people can respond in an appropriate time.
Yeah, it's a public training exercise,
yes.
basically, is what that is.
Those things actually do happen.
Yeah.
But again, it's not this sort of scale, and it never winds up being reported in the media of there were 117 billion people that got killed yesterday by an exploding squirrel.
So he's assuming that all the hospital workers, all the nightclub workers, all the nightclub attendees, everybody who was,
all of the news reporters.
Yeah, everybody is in on this, all law enforcement, and it's just absolutely, patently obvious that that's not the case. Whereas the person who is taking people at their word, the hundreds of people who were there and witnessed this horrific violence, the people who had family members dying, it would be impossible to assume that those people are all lying. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. There's more coming up here. 855, 450, free.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. With you tonight, Ian here.
Chris.
And Darryl.
Coming up, big-time virus/malware infection around the globe. Apparently, it's making headlines. Ransomware is in the news. What is ostensibly the largest ransomware strike in the history of man, in the history of the Internet, is happening now thanks to the NSA and their leaked malware. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. And this is going to mean Bitcoin's in the news. Will that drive the price up, or will it drive it down? We'll continue with that coming up here, and you can share your calls and thoughts with us. By the way, if you want to save big time on your purchases at Amazon, just go to saveatpurse.com. You can save easily 20% or more or less. It's up to you what percentage you want to save. And the longer, the harder, the higher the number that you want to save, the longer it may take to actually get the savings. But so, for instance, I put one at like 29% the other day, and nobody's taken a bite on that one yet. But I'm not in a rush, so I don't really need it urgently, and so I'm trying the higher percentages before I lower the price and try it lower. This has been working very well for me, and generally I'll save 20 to 25% on pretty much everything that I buy through saveatpurse.com, and whenever I need something from Amazon, this is the way that I do it. Save at Purse, saveatpurse.com. You go there. You do need to use cryptocurrency, though. That's the key. They will not accept dollars or other fiat currencies at saveatpurse.com. You have to use crypto like Bitcoin in order to get these amazing discounts. Saveatpurse.com. Saveatpurse.com. To the phones, to the fun. Let's go to Stefan. He's in Ohio. Hello, Stefan.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's on your mind?
I was listening to the last caller, and I wanted to point something out. You made it seem like, I understand how crazy it sounds that some of these shootings can be fake, but in the instances where we actually have videos, I have called to question before. You may remember.
Which instances do we have videos?
We have instances of video with the young girl that apparently killed her instructor with an Uzi, and we have two videos of
That's
the man.
New one. I haven't heard this one. When was this?
It's actually quite an old story. It's about 2 years ago. There's also two videos of the shooting in Virginia. The one in Virginia.
Which shooting in Virginia?
The one that apparently happened on live TV.
Well, was that the one that the reporter got killed on the
live shack? Yes.
Yeah.
And there's two videos of that. One that was apparently recorded by the news, and another one that was recorded by the shooter itself.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few things that are questionable. I'm not going to say one way or the other whether it was fake or not, but you'll notice that the gun has no shells coming out of it, and the woman somehow manages to walk away with 4 shots in her body. And nobody noticed this guy walking up despite the fact he was in clear sight.
Yeah, I don't remember all of the claims from when that happened, but we heard a lot of this stuff get dragged out back when this happened, and it was, just as absurd, but not quite to the same level, because the Pulse nightclub shooting involves hundreds of people, and this one only involves like 3 people.
Right, and also, this woman that wound up getting shot, or as you say, allegedly getting shot, she was a professional journalist who was doing a live broadcast on location.
That's right.
Professional journalists who do live broadcast on location are trained to not pay attention to what's happening around them.
Otherwise, they'll be
because
distracted.
They're there to record video for television. And if you get distracted by everybody that walks by you, then you're never going to wind up getting your shot. So I can see how someone would be able to walk up on her
Yeah, and you also understand that cell phone video frequently, again, I haven't seen the footage in quite a long time, so this is not, a fresh story in any way, but cell phone video can frequently have very low frame rates, and so it's very well possible that, the shells were being ejected from the gun. It's just that those frames didn't end up in the video that was recorded. So again, just seems on its face to be pretty ridiculous claims. But certainly, at least with a situation involving a few people on a relatively abandoned dock, you at the very least have the benefit of being able to claim that it's possible that all three of them were in on it or whatever. And so, are you saying that you're not saying you necessarily subscribe to these beliefs?
I don't subscribe to it. I just saw some of the artifacts in the video that some people have used to try to claim it's fake.
Those people are claiming that the woman was not actually shot and killed, and that she was sent off to some kind of island
dead.
somewhere.
She's dead. She's dead.
Okay, but I'm not asking what you believe, or do you think the people are saying that the whole thing was fake, and so therefore she's still alive?
A lot of people have said that, yes, that she's still alive. I don't think
ridiculous.
A family. Yeah, I agree. But my original topic I was going to call in about, Jeff Sessions is apparently going to push for mandatory minimums on all drug sentencing.
He is pushing, according to, I actually had this in show prep for tonight, Washington Post, Attorney General Jeff Sessions overturning the sweeping criminal charging policy of the former Attorney General Eric Holder, and directed his federal prosecutors Thursday to charge defendants with the most serious, provable crimes carrying the most severe penalties. In a speech today, he said the move was meant to ensure that prosecutors would be, quote, unhandcuffed and not micromanaged from Washington, unquote, as they work to bring the most significant cases possible. He said, now, by the way,
I wonder how he's going to do this and still comply with the most recent spending bill, where the DOJ was allocated the grand total of $0 to prosecute cannabis cases
that was
in
for
states
medical.
with recreational or medical.
I thought that was medical only.
Recreation or medical.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, maybe he's talking about the other drugs, Darryl. He's talking about enforcing this on the bad, the big bad drug dealers.
Well, he claims
heroin.
that marijuana is only quote unquote slightly safer than heroin.
Yeah, Sessions came out and said that the opioid and heroin epidemic is a contributor to the recent surge in violent crime in America, which to me makes no sense because violent crime has been declining for decades.
So what's funny here is that he's directing them to charge defendants with the most serious of crimes carrying the most severe penalties, and then says that that's not micromanagement? Well, wait a minute. Not micromanaging them would be to allow them to decide what to charge people with.
See, what he's calling micromanaging is Congress telling him that he's not allowed to do something.
I see. He says, quote, we're returning to the enforcement of the laws passed by Congress, plain and simple. If you're a drug trafficker, we will not look the other way. We will not be willfully blind to your misconduct, unquote. The Holder memo, issued in 2013, instructed his prosecutors to avoid charging certain defendants with drug offenses that would trigger long mandatory minimum sentences. Defendants who met a set of criteria, such as not belonging to a drug trafficking organization, gang, or cartel, qualified for those lesser charges and, in turn, less prison time under Holder's policy. So Sessions' new policy is wiping that out, outlined in a 2-page memo and sent to more than 5,000 assistant U.S. attorneys across the country. Your thoughts on that, Stefan?
I think that his idea of trying to have bigger punishments for people that are abusing drugs and then saying, oh, if you're not a part of a big drug ring, you get a lesser sentence. What happens when they start accusing people of being a part of a drug ring even if they weren't?
Well,
that's what they're going to do. They're just going to everybody that obviously he was part of a big drug ring, otherwise we wouldn't have arrested him.
Everybody who has any kind of illegal drug, is part of a huge drug ring under their logic. So that doesn't even make sense to me.
Right. I remember seeing one of these, don't do drug things where they were saying, if you buy any drug, you're funding the terrorist.
Well, just to be clear, something you said was incorrect, and I don't know if you intended to say this, Stefan, but they're not targeting drug abusers. They're targeting drug dealers. the average drug user or abuser does not get targeted by the federal government for arrest. That's usually the local cops that collar those guys. Hey, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Here's a quote from Sessions. He says, drug trafficking is an inherently dangerous and violent business. If you want to collect a drug debt, you can't file a lawsuit in court. You collect it with the barrel of a gun.
That's why we need to end the damn drug war, you crazy man.
The reason why drug trafficking is dangerous is because of your war on drugs that drives it into the black market. Thanks to Prohibition, there's more coming up. It's Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com recently reported Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. To many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. The fee market and slow confirmation times have also increased the tension concerning the block size debate. However, if there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover the fees, they become virtually unspendable. Learn more at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We got some tech-related news that may be hitting your home. Hopefully not. But malware released by the NSA is now infecting systems and bringing up ransomware, which is holding people's computers hostage in return for Bitcoin payments. We can tell you more about that coming up here in moments. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Don't forget, you can Skype in to join us at Skype username LRN.FM. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. So let's go to the phones and to the fun. Bonnie is on the line in Utah. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Bonnie.
Hi, this is Bonnie. So what I wanted to talk about was, it's related to, the conspiracy theories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that all of those ones that the people have been calling in talking about today, even if there is a little bit of truth to it, I think it's to, distract from the main big conspiracy that is basically just that the state doesn't actually have our interest in mind. Like Murray Rothbard in Anatomy of the State, he says that the state is basically what used to be just thieves and barbarians or whatever. They just organized and decided this is the easier way to steal and stuff like that. So isn't that a conspiracy theory? And I feel like that's just to distract people.
Yeah, okay. Now, that's an interesting point, because I think you're going to find a lot of agreement with the viewpoint that the state is essentially a criminal gang. And I don't know how many of the people within the state think of themselves that way. So I think that there are probably some people who do realize that about what they're doing within the state, and who absolutely, understand that they're using criminal violence against people to achieve what they want. But I don't know what percentage of them are like that. Some of them believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, is it conspiracy, or is that just the reality, right? Because they don't necessarily have to conspire to do that in order to work together to do that, right?
Well, at the lower levels, I live on a military base that's mostly civilians. Obviously, they don't think, oh, I'm just being evil. They think that they have completely been, brainwashed, that they're all for the public good.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know where it would start or anything. But, one thing I put on the topic suggestions was about Judd Weiss, the McAfee's VP, how he came on Tom Woods' show yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And he was saying all this stuff about the Libertarian Party. He was saying that they were basically taking money and using it for just making money for themselves and stuff like that. And I even donated $15. I'm 20 years old, and that's what got me into libertarianism. And I could totally see other people my age being well, this is all a big crap show. This is totally a conspiracy.
So what was it that got you in? Because you're pretty young. A lot of young people don't get involved in politics. What was it that kind of turned you on to it? Was it one of the political campaigns within the Libertarian Party? Was it Judd's campaign, or was it McAfee, or was it the Gary Johnson side?
Well, I was raised totally conservative, and I basically would argue with my sister about how Bernie Sanders was wrong. And one of my best friends would be on my side, but he was saying all this stuff I didn't know about, and I was like, "What? How do you get this information?" And he's a libertarian, and he basically showed me the Mises Institute and C, and I've just found everything your show all by myself, and YouTube and reading and stuff like that. But Gary Johnson was I was oh my gosh, it was the same exact time, probably January of 2016. I was just wow, this is a person we can get behind, and he actually has a shot of winning, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Well, it was her first election, so
yeah,
you can forgive someone.
All right, yeah.
He had a shot at making a lot of money for Ron Nilsen, and that's what he did.
Who's that? His campaign manager?
Ron Nilsen was the advisor that wound up getting somewhere around 60% of all of the donations that went to the Johnson Weld 2016 campaign.
Now, was that some of what Judd Weiss has been kind of revealing as some of the backroom dirty deals?
Possible. I've not listened to the Tom Woods podcast. I have it downloaded, and I just sent it to my phone, so I'll listen tomorrow.
You need to.
Yeah, I saw Judd over at in Acapulco. Of course, he was taking some great-looking pictures. He's like the Liberty photographer
Yes.
of note. Him and Tennyson, they're both really good. But I always like to catch up with him, and he and the McAfee campaign had a really good campaign.
Yes.
Yours also, Darryl, was excellent. It's a shame that we didn't have a more principled libertarian involved, but I'm glad to hear that Gary Johnson did bring people in to the movement, and you stuck around and you've learned more, because anybody who just listened to Gary Johnson wouldn't understand what libertarianism is.
I was going to say, she sounds like way more knowledgeable than somebody who's just a Gary Johnson supporter.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie. Anything else you want to share tonight?
Call. Not really. That's mainly what I wanted to bring up was the Judd Weiss interview.
All right. I appreciate your call. And thanks for submitting that, by the way, to freetalklive.com. You mentioned that, and I appreciate it. And there's a few core submitters over there who keep putting fresh content up, so I appreciate that, too.
And for people
Thanks for the
that
call.
aren't familiar with that, that's a Reddit integrated system?
Correct. So if you go to freetalklive.com, the front page of our site has a bunch of features. We got a webcam, we got archives, we got live streaming, got a list of our radio affiliates, all kinds of content there. But there's also the front page, which you get to actually influence. You get to submit content there. And so if you see a news story, for instance, that you like, and you want our other listeners to see that story, and possibly us as hosts to see the story, you submit it there to the front page of the site via the Reddit-based system. So you do have to have a free Reddit account, and it's pretty easy to link your Free Talk Live account with your Reddit account. And so then once you go to the front page, if you want to hit submit, you can just send your story in there. If you want to use the Reddit version too, you can go to reddit.com/r/freetalklive, and then you can use it that way if you prefer it that way. But that's a place I check every day to see if there's something fresh that I'm interested in talking about on the air. And so other listeners benefit from being able to see what's there, and you get to vote on what the other listeners submit. So I submitted something actually earlier today about New Hampshire having 74% of the Senate vote in favor of cannabis
Oh, is that the numbers?
decriminalization. That's correct. It
That's
was
interesting.
17-6. So an overwhelming vote,
Yeah.
finally.
Yes. Yeah.
After they voted it down again and again over the last decade, they had
the amendment to the bill, because the bill that came out of the House would have removed criminal penalties for the first 3 convictions of possession of up to 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
The amendment, which lowered that to 3/4 of an ounce, actually had 1 more vote than the bill as amended.
Meaning the amendment itself passed with
18
one
to
higher
5.
vote, and then somebody flipped their vote on the whole thing.
Correct. So Sharon Carson, who's the anti-drug,
She's a
the big
prohibitionist.
prohibitionist, she voted for the amendment, but against the bill as amended.
I just felt I was surprised that she voted for that amendment. I figured that it was a mistake on her part. But, as you pointed out, she ended up voting against the bill. But it didn't matter because it won overwhelmingly, which was nice. After the New Hampshire State House passed it with 90%, 89.8%.
The regional director for the Marijuana Policy Project, he speculates that she voted for the amendment so that it weakened the bill.
Took it from an ounce to 3/4
Right.
of an ounce. I see.
I'm wondering, and this is definitely speculation on my part and not something that I necessarily expect her to do, but I'm wondering if she's doing this so that she can then play both sides of the issue of, well, I voted for the amendment.
Could be.
I'm not a prohibition. Once she winds up seeing an opinion poll of 75% of New Hampshireites want to legalize and remove all criminal penalties from cannabis, well, I voted for the amendment.
There was some stupid stuff said by some of the prohibitionists during that floor hearing, and that video
I was
is up
watching
now.
the video yesterday. There was one of the guys that said, well, if you can have up to 3/4 of an ounce, then wouldn't a drug dealer just wind up getting 6 of his buddies to sit in a car with him, and
Was
then they
the
all
dumbest thing
have
I've ever
3/4 of an ounce? What size car are you driving around in where you can just have 6 of your buddies sitting there to carry 3/4 of an ounce
So
to
dumb.
go to a drug deal?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, so some of that I caught on video. I mean, you were watching the feed that was live from the cam that the state has in there. I had actually gone down there to try to record the whole hearing, and they they did it earlier than I was expecting.
Yeah, they skipped order, and it took them a lot less time to get to that.
Yeah, so I only got half
it would.
I only got half of it on my videos. You can see that over at freekeen.com. That video's up now.
Well, luckily the state archives their live stream.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
All right. That is good. That is good to know. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. But it was nice to see, bipartisan support for decriminalizing cannabis, and nice to see the governor coming out same day with a press release saying he's going to sign it. So good news. There's more coming up here. Hour 3 is on the way. This is Free Talk Live. You can join us. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin, but imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 12th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.41 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,229 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,794. Antiwar.com reports in a move that is simultaneously seen as undermining the Saudi war in Yemen and also a virtually necessary consequence of that war. A group of political, military, and tribal figures led by former Aden Governor Abdurrahman Zubadi have announced that they are launching a formal movement for the secession of South Yemen, making the announcement with the flag of the former country. South Yemen was conquered by North Yemen in 1994, unifying the country under northern ruler Ali Abdullah Salah. Salah ruled unified Yemen until 2012 when Abdurabu Mansour Hadi was appointed to replace him. Hadi resigned in 2015, leading to the Saudi invasion to try to reinstall him by force. Northern Yemen is controlled by the Shiite Houthi movement now, while the Saudi-backed forces of Hadi rule the south, with the country once again split largely along the historic border. There was always some southern nationalism within Yemen, and the war's de facto split has brought it back to the fore. Hadi allies are complaining the secessionist movement might undermine the Saudi bid to conquer the whole country for them, while many Southerners say they expect the smaller Gulf Arab states, who are also deeply involved in the Saudi war, to back the right of self-determination for the South. Despite formally being a unified country for over 20 years, Southern Yemenis long complained of the discrimination by northern rulers and the various crackdowns by Salah et al. Against secessionist movements in the past gave them very much the feel of an occupied territory. Ironically, despite a split being the opposite of the Saudi goal in the war, the same war made it a de facto reality and accepted accepting it as a de jure reality, too, would be a very simple way to resolve the ongoing war, assuming the Saudis would accept not only a sovereign southern Yemen, but a North Yemen that has a substantial and influential Shiite population. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports 3 Boeing mechanics servicing an Air Force One plane caused $4 million in damage and increased the risk of a fire in mid-flight if not corrected, according to a federal investigation. One of the two 747-200B aircraft, which is designated as Air Force One when the president flies, was being serviced at a Boeing plant in San Antonio on April 1st through 10th, 2016, according to an incident report released by the Air Force investigators this week. According to the report, the oxygen system became contaminated when mechanics caused the mishap by supplying and using non-oxygen clean tools, parts, components, a regulator, and an unauthorized cleaning procedure while performing oxygen system leak checks. Boeing issued a statement saying the oxygen system was remedied by Boeing at no cost to the government. The plane has returned to the Air Force, where it's being prepared for presidential service. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports California Governor Jerry Brown on Thursday proposed a funding increase for the state attorney general to create more than 30 new positions dedicated to combating President Donald Trump's policies. Democratic attorneys general in states across the country have assumed lead roles in opposing some of the Republican president's agenda. State attorneys general in Washington and Hawaii successfully sued to block Trump's executive order restricting travel from some Muslim-majority countries, and California Attorney General Xavier Becerra has pledged to defend the state's environmental standards and healthcare access. Brown has been particularly outspoken against Trump's policies. In budget revisions released on Thursday, Brown's office proposed a $6.5 million increase for California's Department of Justice, enough to fund 31 positions to address various actions taken at the federal level that impact public safety, healthcare, the environment, consumer affairs, and general constitutional issues. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
He has to make a burrow in a tree stump. That's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us on the radio. You can take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that's on your mind. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
We've got Skype, so Skype on in here and join us at Skype username LRN.FM. And still to come, we want to talk about what's happened with some of the NSA malware that had leaked out a little while back. The Intercept has the story. Apparently, the largest breakout of ransomware in history is happening as we speak, and that is not good. And it probably is not going to be good for Bitcoin in the public eye. We'll tell you about that here in a moment. But we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts first. So we go to the phones and to the fun. Patrick in Bullhead City. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me today?
Yes. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I got a serious situation that's been coming up a lot, and it's got to do with the pharmacies, how the state and governments are going after the smaller pharmacies. They're shutting down because of the pain management systems, and they're really getting really strong-footed on them. The law states that it's a felony if you threaten a pharmacist, but a doctor, it's a misdemeanor, which I think is totally unfair because they're literally more vulnerable in an office, you know.
All right, so before you delve too far into this, I've heard the term pain management, something, another, but I'm not intimately familiar with what it actually is. Can you explain that real quick?
Okay. Your different doctors and your different doctor associations, they don't want to deal with pain management, arthritis, people with chronic pain, okay? In other words, real thing. So they refer you to these pain management clinics, of which you have to go up there, sign a contract, which means you have to be UA'd. They monitor you. You have to literally, in order to get your pills, you got to go up there once a month and get a prescription from them. And then every 3 months, you got to go in for a checkup, regardless of what the situation is. You have to follow the contract. So they pretty much have a monopoly on the pain management system. And usually a lot out here, it's mostly seniors, people who have arthritis. The doctors won't touch them because they're too old to do the operations.
Right, and a lot of this, if I understand correctly, is under the guise of we have to prevent people from getting addicted to opioids.
Yeah, but that's all they prescribe most of the time. That's what's funny. But anyway, what's happening now is a lot of the people that are going to these doctors and pharmacists are going down to the pharmacy. The pharmacies are only allotted per county so many patients. In other words, opiates are distributed upon population and different things. So a lot of times you'll go into the pharmacy and they don't have, say, the Percocets or the Oxys or whatever they got them on, down to the minor stuff, which technically is still in that class because it has some form of a opiate or synthetic opiate. And what's been happening is people are getting 86 from the pharmacies because the pharmacist can call if he doesn't like you or if you have any questions to him, they don't hesitate in calling the police, and we have to go out there. And you got a 75-year-old little nice lady who doesn't know what's going on because she's just there to pick up her prescription, and you're having to 86 this person.
What's that mean?
In other words, you're telling them it's a no trespass. You're giving them a warning that you're being.
You've got to remove them from the facility.
Let me see if I'm following this. So an old lady goes into the pharmacy to try to fill a prescription. They tell her, we're out. We can't give you any more pills. You got to go somewhere else. She gets upset, and then they call you in. Is that what's happened?
Well, that's been happening quite often, more so than there. But the sad part is so they go to the neighborhood pharmacies, which are more friendlier. They know your name. We just recently had one closed. I mean, just literally a sign on the window saying we're closed, no explanation or anything else. And it's been happening a lot. And so these people don't know where to go to get their scripts. And it's really turning into a total monopoly. I mean, the FDA has really just got such a heavy hand on this that it's scary because, I mean, if it's become becoming an epidemic in smaller communities because we don't have the options like a lot of the bigger cities do, where you have a drugstore on every corner,
Yeah, and it's the FDA and the DEA who are causing the problems here. Patrick, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. And once again, we're back to partial prohibition. We were talking about drug prohibition earlier, but we were talking about prohibition of illegal drugs. These drugs are semi-legal in that if you have a piece of paper from a doctor, it's totally fine for you to have it. But if you don't, then it's just as illegal as possessing any other drug.
Right. And we were talking earlier about the live stream of the New Hampshire Senate. And there was a bill that they heard at some point yesterday on exempting veterinarians from this pain management reporting something.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the senators stood up and made the claim that he read in some newspapers somewhere that people are injuring their pets and taking the pets to the veterinarian and getting opiates prescribed for the pet. And, we have to include vets because of this. And then another senator stood up and said, I've actually got some friends that are veterinarians. And every time you walk into their office for one of these checkups for an injured animal, you're walking out with a bill of at least $350.
Yeah.
So why would somebody that just wants to get, a few pills of opiates
pay that much?
Pay $350 for what they can go on the street corner and get for $10.
They're 20 at most $20 a pill. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
United States is becoming more and more like a lot of these, I don't want to say third world countries, but a lot of other countries where you just can't get pain meds. They just don't. They're just so harsh on drugs and cracking down on like illegal drugs.
Well, somebody's getting them because they're out there. I mean, they're
severely but I mean illegally sure, but it's severely they come down on the distribution of legal drugs.
Oh no, doubt.
Legally
it's
in
hard
order to crack down on the illegal distribution, and it's just and then the people who actually need the pain meds can't get them.
Yes,
and it's not just pain meds. The last time I went to go buy some Sudafed, and that was probably 5-6 years ago.
They ID you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got snot running out of my nose, and I just look like hell. And I have a box of Sudafed, and the 17-year-old girl, she's like, "I need to see your ID," and I'm like, "For what?" To make sure you're not going to make meth. And I was like, "How does you looking at my ID prove that I'm not going to make meth? You see snot running out of my nose, and I'm sneezing, and what?"
And you know what's really messed up about that is the law doesn't even say they have to check ID. It says something else. It says, I forget exactly what it says, but it says something like,
no, in Texas where I was, she had to write it down on a piece of paper.
But was that in the law? Because so I might be thinking of New Jersey. So again, I mean there's different laws in different places, I suppose, on this one. But I remember the law doesn't even say they have to take ID, and yet that's what everybody does because they want to make sure that they comply with the law, and they have no real means of doing it.
This woman had to write my name, my address, my ID number, the
and it goes
birth
into a
date,
database.
And it goes into a database. And if I buy more than X number of boxes of Sudafed, then I'm a meth dealer.
Hold on, are you sure that is a state law, or are we talking about something that's federal? Because I would seem
I think this is state by state.
Is it state?
It must be because that's not his explanation is different than what I remember the law being.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You want to talk about the Sudafed law? Let us know. It's Free Talk Live.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-9829. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-9829. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
Hey, diabetics. Yeah, you. Got a spare hour to waste going to the pharmacy to get your insulin or other meds and supplies every month? I didn't think so. Me either. I've got life going on, which is why I use PillPack. PillPack is an amazing online pharmacy. They package up all my diabetic meds and testing supplies into daily doses and send it to me every month, automatically. All I do is pay my normal copay. PillPack does the rest. I'm serious. This is a free service. They don't even charge for shipping. PillPack handles all the medical insurance stuff and even get with my doctors for my other prescriptions so I don't have to, which is good because that's the stuff I forget. But PillPack remembers everything. They even package up my daily vitamins so I remember to take them too. If you're diabetic, your meds and supplies are life and death, which means you need PillPack. Call right now for this free service. You may even qualify for $25 in free vitamins. 800-560-7310. That's 800-560-7310. Again, 800-560-7310.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free. You can bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And the Skype username is lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris, and Darryl.
Also, did you know your body contains a second brain? That's what scientists call your intestines. And it's because today they know the bacteria or probiotics in your intestines are the catalyst for sending signals to your brain. Unfortunately, due to poor eating habits, most Americans have an unhealthy gut, and this is contributing to a whole host of problems. An unhealthy gut has been linked to everything from anxiety and depression to chronic inflammation and weight gain. In short, a daily probiotic supplement is no longer essential just for building your immune system. It's also important to combat moodiness, maintain energy, and help with weight loss. And with Whole Food Multi-Complete, it's easy because they include a blend of 8 strains of live probiotics with your daily vitamin minerals. That they also include digestive enzymes and antioxidant herbs. In fact, for 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete is the only product that incorporates 7 families of nutrients into a single product. It is the perfect product for the health-conscious consumer who understands they need more than just vitamins and minerals, but don't want to break the bank buying 5 or 6 different products every month. So go and get yours with 30% off for your first order with coupon code FTL. That's coupon code FTL like Free Talk Live. you go over to simplifymysupplements.com. They're knocking off pretty much all their profit, from what I understand, with that code, just to get you to try it out, to see what you think about it. It's code FTL over at simplifymysupplements.com. They do accept Bitcoin, and if you want to get the discount on your Bitcoin order, you can contact them through the website, plus free shipping on orders over $60.
So I've done some research on the ephedrine stuff, the ID requirements, and these do vary state by state.
Okay,
and
interesting.
They vary drastically. The National Alliance for Model State Drug Laws has the list, and Chris, you're correct. In New Jersey, there is no requirement that the purchaser produce identification. In Texas, where I had to produce identification, this thing says that if there's no valid prescription, the purchaser must produce identification, that the business is required to document the identification.
Okay.
And again, you're not allowed to sell more than a certain amount in a day, more than 3.6 grams of ephedrine per day, more than 9 grams per 30-day period. Minimum age is 16 to purchase these things, and there's a lot of other super strict requirements here.
Well, that
And
must have eliminated the production of methamphetamine in all of those places.
Vary greatly state by state.
So methamphetamine is obviously, in the states where there are heavier restrictions, there must be less or fewer meth busts, right?
Yes, certainly, yeah.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Not because any serious producer of methamphetamine is not going to buy Sudafed. That's not how they're doing it.
New Mexico. Let's look at New Mexico, because that's where Breaking Bad is set.
That's right.
And, what was he doing? Making meth. Well, in New Mexico, if you don't have a prescription for ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, you must produce proper identification. A pharmacy's principal place of business must wind up obtaining and keeping these records, and there's a bunch of other things in here. The purchaser must sign a log after reading the purchaser statement for pseudoephedrine receipt or other program or mechanism indicating the date and time of the transaction, the name and address of the person's driver's license number or other government ID number, the names of the pharmacist intern, or pharmacy technician conducting the transaction, and the product sold and the total quantity.
That's what they're writing down in New Mexico.
And that's what the purchaser has to. So I go in to the CVS or the Rite Aid or the mom and pop pharmacy and buy a box of Sudafed. I show them my ID. They write all the stuff, and then I have to sign. I am who I say I am. Here's my ID.
Under penalties of perjury, I buy this box of
Sudafed I purchased.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts here and talk to Mark in Salt Lake City, listening online. Hello, Mark.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, great. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was going to talk about this. I called you guys to talk about the cyber attack that's happened.
Yeah.
And it so happens that.
Uh-oh. We have got a terrible connection right now. I'm hoping that it clears up. I don't know.
Hold on. Is this better?
So far it is.
Better?
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Sometimes on speakerphone it works better. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you, if you guys are interested in seeing how this thing is spreading, there is a website that you can visit.
Really?
Affected?
It's done by Intel. It's intel.malwaretech.com/pew-pew, 8.html. Full spectrum cyber pew-pew.
P-E-W-P-E-W?
Yep.
Intel.malwaretech.com/pew-pew?
.html.
Okay.
Yes.
Pew, pew, pew.
And it's really cool because it starts off with no attack, and then you connect, and then you actually watch the attacks happen in real time.
That's
really interesting.
Insane.
So I wonder if going to the site winds up creating the attacks.
It could, but I'm on an iMac, so I guess maybe safe.
Wait, are you saying that Intel is behind the? What
Wait.
do you mean creating the attacks? What do you mean by that?
So, people go to this website to be like, where are these attacks? But by visiting the website, it's actually creating sort of like the DDoS sort of thing of,
No,
like
this isn't a
using the
DDoS.
IoTs sort of whatever.
This isn't a DDoS as I understand. I mean, I haven't read much about it, but I understand this is a ransomware infection. Mark, have you been following this case? Because I haven't even, I just barely learned about this tonight on the show.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just like a late-breaking news story. So all I know is that this ransomware actually came out of the Eternal Blue code from the CIA that was released in Vault 7. But it's been renamed, but it's the thing is the Eternal Blue. What is it?
What's the exploit? I mean, is there some sort of exploit that they're exploiting? I'm assuming.
Yes, it's an exploit that came out of the CIA.
Okay, so but how does it actually infect the user? Is it a browser exploit? Is it an operating system exploit? Is it Intel management firmware exploit?
I haven't really dug too far into it. That might be something I'll have to dig into further, but I don't have time to really do it right now.
Hey,
so.
Mark, thanks for the call, man. We'll look deeper into this here coming up, and I appreciate the heads up. We actually do take requests here on Free Talk Live, so we'll jump into this topic. Thank you. I appreciate it. Story from TheIntercept.com. An arsenal of powerful software tools designed by the NSA to infect and control Windows computers was leaked by an entity known only as the Shadow Brokers. Not even a whole month later, the hypothetical threat that criminals would use the tools against the general public has now become real, and tens of thousands of computers worldwide are now crippled by an unknown party demanding ransom. The malware worm taking over the computers goes by the names WannaCry or WannaDecryptor.
PDF exploit, I think.
It spreads from machine to machine silently and remains invisible to users until it unveils itself as so-called ransomware, telling users that all of their files have been encrypted with a key known only to the attacker, and they will be locked out until they pay $300 worth of Bitcoin to an anonymous party. We'll continue. It's Free Talk Live.
Lifetime Grazed 100% grass-fed beef has the health benefits you seek. When compared to conventional beef, it offers good fats while virtually eliminating the bad. That's the result of cattle who never eat grain, ever. Rich in antioxidants, including vitamin E, C, beta-carotene, and CLA. No artificial hormones, antibiotics, or other drugs. For all our fresh, non-cooked products with only 100% grass-fed beef, go to MidasResources.com. Use voucher code GCN to get 30% off your order. MidasResources.com. Or find us on Facebook.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's A-G-O-R-I-S-T, hosting.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Uncertainty has become the talking point when it comes to financial markets. One thing is becoming certain: safe haven assets. Hard assets are now becoming the choice of informed investors. The most recognized and valued hard asset is gold. The highest performing asset this year is gold. Trust gold to protect and grow your IRA or 401k. Central banks and billionaires are doing the same thing. Choose a more stable asset that has tremendous upside potential. As these uncertain times threaten the markets, your decision to reduce your exposure to these markets before further negative effects to your portfolio would be well timed. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to transfer your existing IRA into an actual physical gold and silver IRA. American Bullion is the pioneer of gold IRAs. They handle all the details for you. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to get prepared. Start protecting and growing your IRA and 401k before the next crash. American Bullion. 1-800-GOLD-IRA.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Bitcoin price down throughout the day today. We just pulled that up according to Bitcoin average. Global price right now about $1,682 US. That's down from over $1,800 US just 24 hours ago. Yeah. So the price has been dropping pretty dramatically, perhaps on the bad news about the leaked malware that had come out from the NSA that has now been repurposed into a ransomware infection that is popping up all around the globe in what is being called the largest ransomware strike that has ever happened in the history of the internet. And what, for folks that don't know what ransomware is, and there's different versions of types of ransomware out there, but they all share kind of the similar idea that they lock down your computer's files and your operating system and basically displays a nasty message saying, well, we're locking you down. You can't use your computer and access any of your files because they're now encrypted. We have the key. We will decrypt your files if you just go ahead and send $300 worth of Bitcoin. In this case, it's asking for $300. There's a guy here in Keene, New Hampshire, that got hit by ransomware, and they demanded $2,000 worth of Bitcoin from him. And he didn't have an off-site backup that he could access in any decent amount of time, or I don't think he even had one at all. And so he had to pay. And he did pay, and sometimes when you pay, they actually do unlock it, but they don't always, because they know that if you paid once, you might pay again. So why not just keep the software there and then ask for the next payment? According to this story over at theintercept.com, they're locking computers down, asking for $300, but the price then rises to $600 after a few days. After 7 days, if no ransom is paid, the hacker will make the data permanently inaccessible. And there is a countdown clock so victims can see how much time they have left. Ransomware isn't new. For victims, such an attack is normally a colossal headache. But today's vicious outbreak has spread ransomware on a massive scale, hitting not just home computers, but reportedly healthcare, communications infrastructure, logistics, and government entities. Reuters said that, quote, hospitals across England reported the cyber attack was causing huge problems to their services, and the public in areas affected were being advised to only seek medical care for emergencies, and that, quote, the attack had affected X-ray imaging systems, pathology test results, phone systems, and patient administration systems.
If this doesn't, cause you to double think or triple think this whole Internet of Things, then I don't know what will. I know a lot of people started questioning it after the DDoS attack that happened back in, September, October,
where coffee makers were being involved.
Makers and toasters and light bulbs and all of these weird Internet of Targets devices were part of this DDoS thing. And now they're saying X-ray machine. Why the hell do you need an X-ray machine hooked up to Internet?
It wouldn't even be so bad if we actually had secure software, but we don't write software
Do you
securely.
know what the S in IoT stands for? The S stands for security, but there is no S in IoT. Do you know what the P stands for? Privacy, but there is no P in IoT.
Did you get that from Brian Sovereign?
I did.
Okay.
That was pretty funny.
Credit where credit is due.
Woo! It's his birthday today, by the way.
Oh, is it? Well, happy birthday, Brian Sovereign, from Sovereign Tech. Great show, great podcast for people that are into the tech world. I'm sure he's going to cover
former co-host of Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
yes,
going to
I'm
cover this in
fairly
detail.
certain he will.
The worm also has reportedly reached universities, a major Spanish telecom, FedEx, and the Russian Interior Ministry. In total, researchers have detected the WannaCry infections in over 57,000 computers, over 70 countries, and now counting.
Hold on. This thing is attacking the Russians, but I thought the Russians were the ones that released this.
Oh, they're just attacking themselves to fool you into thinking that it wasn't them.
You know, I went to that website that the guy told us about, the Intel
Pew Pew?
malware something pew pew, and I noticed that there's no pings coming out of North Korea.
Oh, it must
The
be
conspiracy
Kim Jong.
theorist inside of me says that that's proof that Kim Jong-un is behind this.
According to experts tracking and analyzing the worm and its spread, this could be one of the worst ever recorded attacks of its kind. A security researcher who tweets and blogs as Malware Tech told The Intercept, quote, "I've never seen anything like this with ransomware. The last worm of this degree that I can remember is Conficker. Conficker was a notorious Windows worm spotted in 2008, which went on to infect over 9 million computers in nearly 200 countries. Most importantly, unlike previous massively replicating computer worms and ransomware infections, today's ongoing WannaCry attack appears to be based on an attack developed by the NSA, codenamed Eternal Blue. The U.S. software weapon would have allowed the spy agency's hackers to break into potentially millions of Windows computers by exploiting a flaw in how certain versions of Windows implemented a network protocol commonly used to share files into print. Even though Microsoft fixed this vulnerability in a March software update, the safety provided there relied on computer users keeping their systems current with the most recent updates. So a lot of, hospitals, industry tends to be very bad at keeping their systems up to date. They're like, oh, well, this is working. Why do we need to, update?
Well, and part of it is if you've got, critical machinery that you can't, take offline
or easily
for a couple of hours to get updates, then, it might not be the easiest thing to update the respirator that for some reason is hooked up to the internet.
They can do live updates too. I don't know about Windows systems, but I know there's live updates on other operating systems. So you don't even have to reboot the system to take it down.
Yeah, Windows systems still require reboots frequently.
Yes.
Mine's scheduled for a reboot tonight.
And Chris Reitman, our Thursday night co-host last week, remember, he came in and he was talking about, my computer's been installing this update for 19 hours and I can't use my computer.
He was exaggerating a little bit, but it was taking quite a long time.
That surpasses my record of installing HP printer drivers on a Windows machine.
The article that I have from the Washington Post also mentions that this flaw is only targeting Microsoft software.
Wait, I thought it was PDFs. Isn't it a PDF exploit?
I haven't seen anything about that, so
I might be thinking of a different, something else that I was reading. So maybe it wasn't the same attack, but I thought it was a PDF, some sort of PDF.
It's saying
exploit.
It's spreading over network connections, so I don't know if it's
maybe it's exclusive to Windows.
That's what they're saying here.
But
that
it's
they
in
are
a
targeting
PDF?
Windows. There's nothing here about a PDF, but
okay.
I don't know if that means
shadow brokers may have released something about a PDF, and they do mention shadow brokers.
Okay.
But
they had a whole bunch of tools. I mean,
right.
the NSA had a bunch of tools, and this is one of them. So, and now, as pointed out here at The Intercept, has always been the case, many people, including the government, aren't installing updates, and therefore, or before, there would have been some solace in knowing that only enemies of the NSA would have to fear having Eternal Blue used against them. But from the moment the agency lost control of its own exploit last summer, there's been no such assurance. Today shows exactly what's at stake when government hackers can't keep their virtual weapons locked up. As security researcher Matthew Hickey, who tracked the leaked NSA tools last month, put it, quote, "I'm actually surprised that a weaponized malware of this nature didn't spread sooner." The infection will surely reignite arguments over what's known as the vulnerability equity process, the decision-making procedure used to decide whether the NSA should use a security weakness it discovers for itself and keep it secret, or share it with the affected companies so they can protect their customers. Christopher Parsons, a researcher in Toronto at their Citizen Lab, told The Intercept, quote, "Today's ransomware attack is being made possible because of the past work undertaken by the NSA. Ideally, it would lead to more disclosures that would improve the security of devices globally." So that they're saying here, if the NSA hadn't kept this a secret, if the NSA had informed Microsoft of the vulnerability, then this could have been patched a year ago. But no, they kept it quiet. Or could have been patched years ago.
There's a second problem though. Even when this kind of stuff is revealed to a lot of these companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google, actually maybe not so much Google, but most of these companies they take a very, very long time to respond.
They sit on it.
Yeah, they just sit on it. And Google has been releasing some of the information on exploits and or vulnerabilities to Microsoft and some others, and they just don't do anything. And then 60 days go by, and then they start releasing the actual exploit code in order to get companies to actually fix the stupid bugs.
Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Welcome here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Sorry about that noise there. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Don't forget to check out more of Chris over on thinkpenguin.com. I mean, you don't blog there or anything like that, but that's your business.
Actually, there is a blog.
Is there?
And we don't have a whole heck of a lot. It's mostly events we attend, and sometimes we promote certain projects and or people being arrested for,
like you
tour. No, not me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't promote
your own arrest,
and that was mainly because it wasn't technology related, and so I didn't think it would be appropriate for that blog.
So thinkpenguin.com, go check them out. You get some privacy-oriented technology, and this fits in well because we're talking about the ransomware that's happening around the country. It's attacking Windows computers. So if you are using a Think Penguin Linux-based laptop, you're safe.
Yeah, you should be. Actually, even the other exploit with the Intel stuff shouldn't work on our systems because the AMT stuff or the vPro stuff that it's relating to is not there intentionally.
I wish we could talk more about this ransomware thing, but we got a load of calls all of a sudden here at the very end of the show, so we're going to go to the phones and to the phone. But check out thinkpenguin.com and also bitcoin.com. Bitcoin is, the price has been going down over the last day, but over the last few months, it's been going up overall, and it's been hitting record highs.
Yeah, it went from almost like $1,000 to
up to like
1,800
plus.
Even if it goes down, anybody who's
it always goes down a little bit, right?
It does, yeah. I mean, even if it
goes
down quite a bit, you're still going to be making out.
So Bitcoin's price is amazing, but unfortunately, behind the scenes, there's some ugliness. And that involves these fees that are happening. Darryl, you just spent $2 to send how much today?
63, and it was last night.
Last night. $2.
$1.64. Close enough to $2.
Yeah,
wow.
It's getting pretty crazy. And Bitcoin.com's been reporting on this. They're of the opinion that the current Bitcoin core development team isn't taking satisfactory steps to ensure the growth and advancement of Bitcoin in accordance with Satoshi's vision. As community efforts to resolve these problems have failed, it's necessary to resolve them with a different approach by using subreddit r/BTC instead of r/Bitcoin and running Bitcoin Unlimited. You're casting a vote against the current development team. You can learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com. At some point, I'm just going to have to stop spending Bitcoin, and I don't want that to happen. I don't know where that point is going to be, but like we all here regularly go to a local business called Local Burger here on Main Street in Keene. They accept Bitcoin for their food, and we've gone there and we've spent upwards of $1 in some cases on sending Bitcoin to the business. When we started doing this, it was like 5 cents to send $10 worth of Bitcoin. It was 5 cents to send $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. But now it's the average, and this was like a week ago when I heard these numbers, so it's probably higher now. But the average like a week ago was $1.15 per transaction. The median transaction was 65 cents per transaction, and it's gone insane.
Yeah.
So we're fanatics. So we're likely to be willing to spend, let's say it's a $10 meal, you spend $1, that's a 10% fee that you just spent to give the person Bitcoin. The average customer is not going to be willing to do that. We're willing to do it because we're fanatics about Bitcoin, but even as fanatical as I am, I don't think I could do it if it was $2. I mean, it's just, then it's getting, it's already insane at $1. At 20%, it's just psycho to spend that kind of a fee. Which is going to hurt because then the business owner is going to see the Bitcoin sales dropping off. They're going to wonder what's going on, and we're going to have to say, hey, Bitcoin's broken.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're going to there's like an auto shop here in town that accepts Bitcoin. Okay, fine. If it's a $1,000 repair bill and it's $1, no problem. If it's $5, no problem. I'll go ahead and spend that. That's not a big deal at that comparison. But if I'm spending $10 and I've got to spend $2 to send a $10 worth of Bitcoin, that's too much for me.
Right.
I can't. I mean, I could afford to do it, but why? Why would I want to do it at that point? So anyway, go to Bitcoin.com to get the latest on this and see how this geek war behind the scenes of Bitcoin has been developing. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Aaron's been waiting patiently in New Orleans listening to WGSO. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, hey guys, I just want to give you a quick update on my case. I've spoken to you a couple of times about I had filed a lawsuit against the city for false arrest. I had written some letters. This was back in 2014 to criticize the local judge. And the police obtained an arrest warrant accusing me of stalking through these written letters. And so...
Hold on. Wow. You were writing letters to the newspaper?
No, I was writing letters to people that had business associations with him.
I'm sorry. I didn't get that.
Yeah. So it was basically saying, this is what this judge and his family had been implicated in, and if I were you, I wouldn't do any business with them. So it was kind of like
that is free speech. I mean,
absolutely.
I know. And that's
is it public official?
So they charged you with stalking?
Right, through these written letters.
Oh,
now,
my God.
The district attorney dropped the case. It took him about four months to actually drop it, but the district attorney dropped it. I had to spend money to get out of jail, a lawyer, all of that. So anyway, my lawyer files a lawsuit against the city claiming false arrest, false imprisonment in federal court. The trial court judge threw the case out saying that the city is immune, the police officers are immune from being sued. We appealed it to the U.S. Fifth Circuit, and the U.S. Fifth Circuit agreed, saying that the police officers obtained an arrest warrant. Therefore, the police can no longer be held liable since they obtained a warrant.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
They went to a judge, and the judge agreed that they could do what they asked to do, and so therefore, because the lawyer in a robe said they can do it, they can do it, and I'm another lawyer in a robe, so I'm going to back up my brother, and that's what they call each other, brother.
It's weird. It's so creepy.
Going to back up my brother, who's
even if they're against one another, they'll call each other brother. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier in the show tonight with all the bureaucratic communities protecting themselves. So the appeals court agreed with the lower court, and so you're going to call it quits? What's the latest?
Yeah, I mean, that's it, unless you want to try to take it any higher. But yeah, basically, and you can go online. The U.S. Fifth Circuit, they put all of their rulings up there. This happened in early May, so the rulings up there. And basically, this is what the Fifth Circuit is saying, is that even if your First Amendment right is violated, okay, but if they're obtained an independent warrant, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a permission slip to them to harass people that they don't like. They don't like you because you were
slip to commit crime.
You were that's what they're doing. I mean, they're going.
Well, in the words of Richard Nixon, it's not illegal when the government does it.
Yeah.
Right. So if they don't like you, if you're saying something that they don't like, which is what you were doing, you were saying, "Hey, this judge is corrupt. I want to let you know this as an associate of his," which is very similar to what we've done here in Keene, New Hampshire, where in the past we've gone to the judge's house and protested outside of it. We've been to a police officer's house where Pete Eyre from copblock.org went and knocked on the doors of the neighbors to let them know that they were living next door to a man who knocked an innocent man off of a bicycle, which happened in Derek J's victimless crime spree. You can see that video happening, so they let the neighbors know. That's essentially the exact same thing, just spreading knowledge about what these government goons are doing. They don't like that. They come in, they arrest you. You have to go through the whole criminal process and hope that they'll drop the charges. And then, as you said, you've paid this attorney who knows how much money to defend you and to take this case to court all the way up through an appeals court. I mean, how much money have you spent on this?
The lawyer's the most expensive part.
Yeah.
Well, this lawyer, he was very understanding about what happened, so he agreed to do it on a basis where whatever the amount we had, whatever amount we would get in the lawsuit, he would get, he would get his
so he
back.
did it on what is it? What do they call it? Speculation.
Contingency.
Contingency. That's the word. He did it on contingency.
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh, thank goodness you found an attorney like that, because a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of these guys will not take cases like yours. Aaron, thanks for the update tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you.
Yeah, especially when you know you're going to lose.
Let's talk to Susan in Delaware. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Susan. Susan in Delaware, going once. Susan in Delaware, going twice. All right, thanks for the call tonight. So the ransomware thing, again, spreading right now. They pointed out here at the end of the story that people just don't update their machines. Obviously, not everybody's going to flip over to a thinkpenguin.com Linux machine. So if you aren't doing that, you should probably run the damn updates and get the update from Microsoft like tonight.
Right. Microsoft said that.
So is there an update yet, though?
That was
Microsoft said today our engineers added detection and protection against the new malicious software known as Ransom Win32.WannaCrypt. In March, we provided a security update. So they have an additional update today.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think when I started reading it, there was no update.
So you should totally check for that. We're out of time for tonight. You can join us online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com.
And get away from Microsoft ASAP.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, May 12th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.41 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,229 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,794. Antiwar.com reports in a move that is simultaneously seen as undermining the Saudi war in Yemen and also a virtually necessary consequence of that war. A group of political, military, and tribal figures led by former Aden Governor Abduruz Zubadi have announced that they are launching a formal movement for the secession of South Yemen, making the announcement with the flag of the former country. South Yemen was conquered by North Yemen in 1994, unifying the country under northern ruler Ali Abdullah Salah. Salah ruled unified Yemen until 2012 when Abd Rabbu Mansour Hadi was appointed to replace him. Hadi resigned in 2015, leading to the Saudi invasion to try to reinstall him by force. Northern Yemen is controlled by the Shiite Houthi movement now, while the Saudi-backed forces of Hadi rule the south, with the country once again split largely along the historic border. There was always some southern nationalism within Yemen, and the war's de facto split has brought it back to the fore. Hadi allies are complaining the secessionist movement might undermine the Saudi bid to conquer the whole country for them, while many Southerners say they expect the smaller Gulf Arab states, who are also deeply involved in the Saudi war, to back the right of self-determination for the South. Despite formally being a unified country for over 20 years, Southern Yemenis long complained of the discrimination by northern rulers, and the various crackdowns by Salah et al. Against secessionist movements in the past gave them very much the feel of an occupied territory. Ironically, despite a split being the opposite of the Saudi goal in the war, the same war made it a de facto reality, and accepting it as a de jure reality too would be a very simple way to resolve the ongoing war, assuming the Saudis would accept not only a sovereign southern Yemen, but a North Yemen that has a substantial and influential Shiite population. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports 3 Boeing mechanics servicing an Air Force One plane caused $4 million in damage and increased the risk of a fire in mid-flight if not corrected, according to a federal investigation. One of the two 747-200B aircraft, which is designated as Air Force One when the president flies, was being serviced at a Boeing plant in San Antonio on April 1st through 10th, 2016, according to an incident report released by the Air Force investigators this week. According to the report, the oxygen system became contaminated when mechanics caused the mishap by supplying and using non-oxygen clean tools, parts, components, a regulator, and an unauthorized cleaning procedure while performing oxygen system leak checks. Boeing issued a statement saying the oxygen system was remedied by Boeing at no cost to the government. The plane has returned to the Air Force, where it's being prepared for presidential service. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports California Governor Jerry Brown on Thursday proposed a funding increase for the state attorney general to create more than 30 new positions dedicated to combating President Donald Trump's policies. Democratic attorneys general in states across the country have assumed lead roles in opposing some of the Republican president's agenda. State attorneys general in Washington and Hawaii successfully sued to block Trump's executive order restricting travel from some Muslim-majority countries, and California Attorney General Xavier Becerra has pledged to defend the state's environmental standards and healthcare access. Brown has been particularly outspoken against Trump's policies. In budget revisions released on Thursday, Brown's office proposed a $6.5 million increase for California's Department of Justice, enough to fund 31 positions to address various actions taken at the federal level that impact public safety, healthcare, the environment, consumer affairs, and general constitutional issues. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
With weather conditions in the Sahara among the most brutal in the world, the desert is a place suitable only for collapsing, dying, and rotting. Starvation is just one of the many possible outcomes for the gazelle or desert elk. It could also suffocate in a sandstorm, collapse of dehydration, or be run over by a dune buggy. Only the vulture has the wherewithal to survive in this nirvana of death. They feed on the dead of the Sahara. Uniquely adapted to the rigors of desert life, the vulture usually dies of heart disease after becoming overweight from the feast of carcasses. The landscape of the desert is dominated by towering sand dunes made from millions of years of ground-up bones. Another day ends in the Sahara, Earth's largest most uncomfortable too.
This is the Onion News Network.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Torchwood Report. This is Matthew Taylor sitting alongside Bill Godin and also chilling with Jeff Nijo. So, guys, I'm so ready and psyched for tonight, but before we get into anything, I'm going to kick it over to Niz real quick. So, Niz, what's up?
This broadcast is covered by the BIPCOT No Government License, and what that means is that you are free to use and rebroadcast portions or segments of this show so long as you are not an agent or advocate for government. If you are, you will be perpetually socially shamed across all forms of media.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no way around it.
We're all for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 4chan has nothing on us. No, that's not true. That's not true. 4chan, leave us alone. We love you. That was not a challenge.
We're getting yanked.
Yeah, that was not a challenge. Anyways, so
They're
guys,
gonna
how's your
shy
week been?
you.
Oh God,
Watch out,
I'm
we'll
not.
get shied.
There's a museum just waiting for him.
I have no qualms with you.
I don't want to go that route.
Yeah, please leave me alone.
Direct all hate mail to Matthew Taylor.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! But anyways, so how you guys this week been?
Fairly good.
Fairly good.
Fairly good.
Yeah, nothing entertaining this week. Nobody got any random animals. Nobody collected a rabbit or two.
No. My daughter's talking about the Illuminati now. I don't know what that's about.
Ooh. Okay, tell us more.
Apparently, she snuck in when I was watching one of my shows about the Illuminati, and she just walks up to me in the middle of a grocery store. Hey, Dad, how about the Illuminati?
How old?
7.
7 years old and already
How about
woke.
it?
How about it?
I love it. And you know what? I can't scold her for it.
Well, obviously, you have to start with central banking.
That's next week.
That's next week? Okay. Well, what? Okay, Niz, I mentioned animals, and you started to laugh. So what do you got? What happened to you?
The rabbit had babies.
Oh, there's several.
Like we didn't see that coming. Like
Peter was a PETA?
Right.
Oh,
that
man.
Never saw it coming. That we would find these domesticated rabbits outside and they not be pregnant.
That's
you know,
right.
That's like generally how they end up outside.
So are
now
you
we
in
got
a
6 baby rabbits?
And you're in a situation where you're like, oh, what am I gonna do with 6 rabbits? But your kids are like, rabbits!
I know,
Yeah.
exactly.
And my daughter's still waiting for the bird egg to hatch.
Oh God.
Oh,
These
really? Your
these are the-
velociraptor didn't hatch yet?
No, not yet.
These are the amazing things I have to look forward to.
Velociraptor eggs and baby rabbits.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so basically the highlight of my week was while doing research for this show, I was walking towards my car and definitely tried to get into the wrong car. It was identical to mine. I just wasn't paying enough attention. I just looked at color and listen,
Did you get in?
no,
Oh.
the woman sitting in the driver's seat kind of alerted me that was at the wrong one. But I came up from the back side of it, and it looked identical. I mean, I drive a convertible. It's a late model, so it doesn't exactly – there's not a whole bunch of them around. And when I saw one of the same color and everything, I was like, all right, that's mine. Went to go sit in. Nope. Actually, my first thought – you know what my first thought was, though? What the hell is this woman doing in my car?
I've been there, man.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, wait, that's because it's not
I'm
my
the idiot.
car. Okay, yeah. Every so often, when I used to drive a Honda Civic, I would go to Walmart, and if any other Honda Civics that looked like mine were there, I would park right next to it just to kind of see if it would mess with the person. And I would hope it did. Like, if they left by the time I got back, I'd be like, I hope they didn't realize, first off, they went to go to my car just so it worked. But that's just me. But anyways, yeah. So that was our week in a nutshell. I'm an asshole. Bill is teaching his kid about the Illuminati, and Jeff.
And I'm the rabbit whisperer.
Yeah, you're turning into Dr. Doolittle. It's awesome.
Right.
So
that's great.
So that's
and
our
I had strep throat
lives
this week.
Oh, I am so glad we don't share a studio.
I know.
But
I could be there right now, breathing all over your microphone,
and I could be at home.
So glad you're not. But anyways, so that was our world for the last week. But let's talk about everybody else's, because it was pretty insane, especially talking about everything coming out of Washington D.C. I know you guys have seen some of this.
What happened, man?
Here and there. So are you guys familiar with Donald Trump?
I've heard of him.
Yeah. In
Vaguely
case
familiar.
In
He
case
had a TV
some
show, didn't he?
Yeah, in case you guys
I have
aren't
him.
up to speed, somehow, some way, this guy became president. Okay,
I have him on Twitter.
So now that
We
you're
totally
kind
know
of
how this. Listen, we've already gone over this, Matt. We know how it happened. The CERN super collider destroyed our universe, and we are now living in a parallel universe where Hillary Clinton is not in prison and Donald Trump is our president.
Right. So now that you're up to speed, like this has been an accumulation of shows that have brought us to this point. We now get to finally talk about the next stage of Donald Trump, which is just insanity.
No,
I
that
think
was
it's
always the
No. No. He's evolving from just pure insanity to like dictator overlord insanity.
Oh, okay.
And anybody disagree? Do I have a disagree? No,
I don't think he's morphing
Gary?
anything. I think that
Gary?
I
No,
think that
okay.
the last like 15 years or so, he's just reaping the benefits of all the changes that the Republicans and Democrats have made since Ronald Reagan. That's all
right.
he's doing.
Right, but okay. Now let's just jump into our first like real like topic of discussion with Donald Trump, and it comes actually down to maybe the only real decent thing that he's done since becoming president. Sorry, I was getting some wicked feedback there. But anything that he's done, and that is actually start to give a little praise to China over this trade deal.
Right. And it really, I mean, you sit there and look at this trade deal, and it may be the only positive thing that this guy has ever done.
What about your thoughts on this?
I don't really know, man. It seems like it's a good thing on a positive, but every time the government does something, it always has like some type of negative implications. There's something going to happen that's not good because of this, because government is involved.
Well, yeah, the negative thing is that it's once again America's way to just like bite its thumb at North Korea. I mean, it's just the big middle finger. It's like, hey, so if China's going to agree with us, guess what? Like, guess what's on?
We might be right.
We might be right. Like, hey, maybe you want to calm down. And obviously, since North Korea handles everything awesomely, this is going to end well.
Right. Nothing ever ends with missile launches and threats of incredible violence when
No.
you're dealing with North Korea, does it?
And mysterious people named Kim.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Kim.
I love that. That was great.
Kim has actually been involved in a lot of things lately.
You
even in my
cannot
personal
have
life.
you cannot have a valid article about North Korea without having Kim in quotation marks, because that validates everything.
It's
that makes it
trending on
legitimate.
Google.
Do you think they were just sitting there in the palace and were just like, so what should we call it? He's just like, Kim. It's like, dude, that's your name. No, don't worry about it. Nobody will ever.
Hey, you know what I just thought of? You know what I just thought of? I bet that James Comey is really, really happy that he is not part of the establishment in North Korea right now. Because Kim, he does not fire people that way.
No, not at all.
You don't get like a public.
You don't get fired and live.
Do you remember that? You all saw Batman, right?
Right.
You remember the prison from Batman?
I do.
Yeah, it's kind of like that prison.
Arkham? Yeah, Arkham Asylum.
No. I don't think it's like Arkham. I think it's like the hole that Batman had to climb out of. Except for down there, they're doing some mining work as well. So it's like a work camp / horrible prison. But hey, guys, we've got a whole lot more to talk about when we come back after break. So sit on back, relax. We'll be right back with more of the Torchwood Report here on LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to the Torchwood Report. I'm Bill Godin, sitting right alongside Matt Taylor and Jeff Nijo. And we're talking about Donald Trump here.
What the hell are you doing? This is why we don't give Bill the open mic to begin. What were those?
What